Fam, hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is A2D Wednesday nights, and we got a lot to talk about. Super Bowl run, giddy up.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use our promo code A2D. You get $50 right at sign up. You can download FanUp right on the Apple Store. Go do it. Think you're going to love it. I don't think I know. I know. And follow them on all their social media platforms if you want to learn more about them. Before you download. That's time's yours. Time's yours. As always, Greg Milakovic, Frank Vespi. We have no Eaton tonight, no Ralphie D tonight, and we send our thoughts and prayers to Ralphie's family. His grandmother passed away today, I believe. So, say a prayer. Say a prayer for the entire Ralphie D family, and we'll have Ralphie back on next week, I'm sure, or in the coming weeks. I think he'll definitely be on next week. We're ramping up. We're ramping up. It's playoff time. So, and we love you, Ralphie, as Frank's cards say. I don't know about Chrome. Not sure about Chrome. Ryan will be with us shortly. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Here we are. Playoff football is here, and the first week, Super Wild Card Weekend. We can relax. We can breathe. We can sort of see who we play. We'll talk about that throughout the show. 2023 NFL playoff predictions. We'll go through it all, and we'll let you know who's hoisting the Lombardi in Super Bowl 57. So we'll get all into all that tonight, right? But that's not our main topic. Our main topic is Eagles playoff preview. Ties into our poll question, brought to you by our good friends over at Baggio's Bread. They're located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They're the home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, meatballs. You mention A2D Radio, you get 10% off your in-store purchase. See, I got a problem with my tooth. See, I just want to tell you guys right now, I got a problem with my tooth. So I'm getting like the flicker in the eye. You get the flicker in the eye when your tooth starts acting up. I'm getting a flicker in the eye right now. Just want to let you guys know what I work through over here. Just want to let the people know, right? It's almost like it's Jordan in his prime. But Baggio's Bread, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And use promo code A2D, 10% off your in-store purchase. So go check them out. Our poll for tonight's show, the Eagles will be playing in Super Bowl 57. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation, comment in. Let us know who you want to play next round as well. You guys can start spitting that out. Who do you want? Who don't you want? We'll get into all those things. All those things. We'll talk about Jalen Hurts. We'll talk about the importance of the game coming up in a week and a half, right? We got a lot to go over. We got a lot to dissect. And we're going to get right into it. So will the Eagles be playing in Super Bowl 57? Or they will be. Will be. Sorry. It's always an agree or disagree. Answer. Listen, I don't know how it's going to go in the chat. I don't know what the people, I haven't looked. I'm going to take a peekaboo in a minute. So before I peekaboo them, I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree, and not in a homer agree. Like, if you really break it down, if you break down who are the best quarterbacks right now playing that we've seen from this year, Jalen Hurts is number one in the NFC. Number one. Okay? Also, look at all the records we set. That doesn't guarantee you anything, but this football team is loaded. They're loaded. I don't think we appreciate how freaking loaded we are. I don't think we appreciated it all year. I think we poo-pooed it a lot of times, right? We've always been expecting more. We're winning games and we're asking for more, right? And you know how I feel about that. So that annoys me. But that's all we've been doing as a fan base. Like, there's people right now that still don't believe in this football team. Like, how can you be going into the playoffs as the number 1 seed in your conference and people don't believe in you that are fans of you? That's weird to me. That's just weird to me. Because down the stretch, it was a little rough. You think it's all hunky dory all the time? We think it's all kumbaya, that there's no hiccups, there's no speed bumps. This is sports, man. Then you all didn't play it. You all didn't play it. 17-0 shit is ridiculous conversation. Okay? It was ridiculous to even have that conversation when we were talking about that. It was stupid. Okay? But when you break it down, there isn't a better team in the NFC than the Philadelphia Eagles. Does that always get you to where you want to get to? No, you got to go play it, right? They got to go play it. Paper, they're the best, like we thought we were. What we thought they could be prior to the year, right? They had the talent to be because the roster we knew was loaded. And then it was, who's Jalen? Oh, we found out who Jalen is. So what's stopping us? We scared about maybe the possibility of San Fran coming in an NFC title game? Y'all can be scared of that all you want. You got to fly cross country and come into our place with a rookie. With a rookie. That's asking a lot. Okay, that's asking a lot. Not to say it can't be done. That's asking a whole hell of a lot. Okay, talk to me about the Super Bowl when we're playing the other big boys. Not saying there isn't big boys. Y'all scared of Tom coming in possibly next week? I'm not. I thought about it. I sat back on it. Not when you do what we do best. And that's get after you. We get after you. All right? So that doesn't bode well for Tom Brady and the Colts at 45 years old. Okay? That doesn't bode well for any quarterback, especially Tommy. So, who? Dallas? Okay. The roster's good. I get it. I get how that could be concerning to some. Doesn't concern me. Come see me. We've been waiting for you, right? Hello. You guys had a lot to say. Well, he's playing. So we've been waiting for you. So when you run it down, boys, I'm not scared of anybody. That doesn't mean somebody can't beat you. But we are the best team in the NFC. We played the best football throughout the entire year. And it runs through here. Doesn't mean you always get there. But I'm going to agree that we'll be playing in it. So everybody out there, let us know. Let us know what you're thinking. Chime into the poll question. And boys, tell me yours. It's a weird week. We're not giving score predictions. You know what I mean? Well, weird one.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick on your Brock Purdy point too. It's not like he came from a factory, right? It's not like he came from an Alabama or Georgia where he was playing in big games. He actually really underachieved his senior year. You know, he was poised to have a really good senior year and probably be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks drafted had he had a big year. And he really underachieved his senior year at Iowa State. So it's not like he's coming from a blue blood, program to where he's been in big games before, right? Kind of going to your point, coming into, what's going to be probably a hostile environment, as a rookie. Now, granted, he's going to be doing that as probably winners if he does it, as winners of, as a team, winners of, 13 in a row or whatever it is. So, that's good on from their end. However, I agree to the poll. I mean, I have to agree to the poll. I got a freaking ticket say that they're at least going and winning. So I'm not going to go against my ticket here. But I think what you brought up, Tommy, though, is obviously a lot of good points, right? Yes, we do have the best quarterback. We do have, the best rushing attack in football when healthy, right? Obviously, it doesn't look like that the last few weeks, but that was without Jalen, that was without Lane, but when healthy, we do have the best rushing attack in football. And then you mentioned our puppies outside. And that's just on the offensive side of the football. Just the allure of Tommy scares me, right? You know what I mean? And not even a scare, but just a respect factor, right? Tom getting a win in the playoffs here.
I respect you, Greg. Let me make it clear. I respect you.
You do, yeah.
When I'm sacking you 7 times. Okay, so I respect you, but I'm probably going to sack you 7 times next.
Yeah, because they're but that's the only thing that necessarily worries me if Tom comes to town, because it's like, here we go again, right? Here we go, Tom in the playoffs. But I ultimately, like I said, I agree. There's teams, obviously they're in the playoffs, right? So everybody in the playoffs is going to potentially pose a tough battle. But that's why you play the games, and that's why the playoffs are here. And there's going to be games that are going to be tough. But the good thing is they have to come through Philadelphia, right? And coming through Philadelphia is going to give us that advantage in that game. So I'm agreeing as well.
Yeah, and listen, real quick to the people out there that are talking about the big game narrative in college. I think Greg understands that doesn't necessarily matter, but it might matter your rookie year. Like it might matter your rookie year. It could catch up to you. Doesn't mean it will. Like Brock Purdy could go out and take them to a.
I've watched Brock Purdy blow games, so you can miss me with all these names here. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A fucking pimp. Josh Allen has skills. I don't care where Josh Allen went. Josh Allen's got better pure skills than Brock Purdy could dream he's ever had.
True.
Same thing with Mahomes. And Brady went to a blue blood. So what do you want?
Yeah. Listen, I agree with you completely. I'm just telling the people out there, it doesn't mean you had to play in big games to end up being special, right?
No.
But in his first year doing it, and late into the year, they've been hot. Don't get me wrong. He's played extremely well, but this is now a different animal.
Yep.
We talk about how the level of play goes up from preseason football, regular season football, late in the regular season football, when teams are fighting for their lives, and then what happens when everybody's fighting for their lives come postseason time. So it's a different animal, and can he handle it? We'll find out. Because listen, at the end of the day, if he plays well against Seattle, that's a playoff game. Like, I can't take it away from him. So them coming into town, hypothetically, could be like, they won a playoff game. Like, he could come beat us. But then at the end of the day, our defense a little better than Seattle. It's a little better. Our defense a little bit better than what they've played. So it's also a test for him now. It's a bigger test. So go ahead, Frank, to the poll.
I also agree to the poll that the Eagles will reach the Super Bowl. I mean, all season, this has been a fun team to watch. I would like to say the aura around this city has been very interesting. A lot different from, this 2017 team. I mean, we are a very complete team. I think the only other team that's probably up there in terms of completeness in our conference alone is going to be San Francisco. But, a rookie, Mr. Irrelevant quarterback in Brock Purdy, I don't know. I'm very superstitious with that. I don't see that magic, make it all the way to the Super Bowl. That's probably our only real threat in the conference. So in the postseason, maybe a playoff Tom Brady as well. But the biggest threat to this team is ourselves. We cannot be, there are some games where we are leaving our feet off the gas pedal and not getting the job done. We have made those mistakes. Hopefully the playoffs, we get it all together, we make the run, and hopefully we might make the trip to Arizona. So I also agree to the poll on that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about all this, but guess what? You know what it tells me? That all three of us are saying the same things. It's the truth. Now, again, the truth doesn't always in sports equate to what we all said, right? Like things happen, upsets happen. It is part of not only the National Football League, but it's part of sports in general, right? That's why I say that's why you play the games, right? So just because it comes through Philly, like we've talked about, just because we're the better team, that doesn't always equate. But guess what does? The biggest elephant in the room, and why I opened with the talks of Jalen Hurts, okay, and how he's not even arguably he's the best quarterback in this conference, in the NFC, hands down. It's not even up for debate this year. Like, he's been. That's just facts, right? He's also a winner. We've talked about this all year. We've talked about his regular season record. I mean, think about his regular season record. Think about what he's done. Right? And when we judge the quarterback position, I know some don't like it, but at the end of the day, a lot of it's judged off wins, losses. And there's other factors to that, right? If you're the 85 Bears, I get that, right? But the majority of them, of quarterbacks, are judged off wins, losses. Like if you're putting up great stats but always losing, you're not looked at as one of the greats, aka at the time Matthew Stafford, right? So because they're always losing, you're not looked at like that. So winning helps. Stats and winning, when you put them together, help a lot more. And what Jalen's done this year and last year, not to the level this year, but his stats and winning. That's what he's done. That's what he's done. And I think it's hard. I have a hard time arguing that Jalen Hurts doesn't end this postseason with a winning, a winning percentage in his postseason record. Like, you know what I mean? Like a positive winning percentage. Like I don't see how he leaves this postseason without that. And in reality, or at least even, right? At least even. Okay, because if you lose in the Super Bowl, then you're 2-2 in the postseason, right? You're 2-2 career in the postseason. Well, guess what? For a second-year guy that got to a Super Bowl, pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. And what's his last regular season? I mean, what's his regular season record over the last 2 years? It's like insane. It's insane. It's ridiculous.
I have to go back and look because
it's ridiculous. Was he like 13-1?
He's not even,
hook on 18-1
this year.
18-1 in his last X amount of whatever how many regular season games that is. Are you kidding me?
That's nuts.
Okay, you lost to Tom Brady in the playoffs. All right, that happens to a lot of people, right? It was ugly. We get it, but guess what? It was also air quote your rookie year as a starter. Your first full year as the guy that he got meaningful snaps the year before, and I think that helped him year 2. But that's his first year NFL podium every day, right? You know what I mean? It's a little different, and we see development in year 3, and it's not like we have a rookie right now. What we can say is we have an experienced quarterback in the National Football League, right? And okay, you're not postseason experience; you only had one. But that one experience is a big one on what transpired. And I got to believe that our quarterback, right, has that written down somewhere. What was said about him on the side. I got to believe because that's
he definitely has that. He's that type of worker. He's that type of just even self-motivator to himself. You know what I mean? And you know what? I think he read that back to himself all offseason. Because he came in a different quarterback. You know what I mean? He's an absolutely improved, different quarterback this year than he was last year.
Absolutely.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
No, he has. And I think, all you guys have a ton of confidence in him. I know I do. And when you look at it, when you break down football, you start with what? Who's well, we don't go under center, but who's behind? Who's behind the ass cheeks?
Yeah.
Right. And that's Jalen Hurts. So here, and like I said, again, in the NFC, there's not a better quarterback this year. So when you start breaking down the team, you say, okay, that's a check mark win. And then you circle the board, you start check marking everything. And I'm going to get upset about it. I don't give a rat's ass about the San Francisco 49ers. I'll worry about them if I get to an NFC title game. Then I'll worry about who I'm playing next. Right? It's about who's first. And guess what? Even if I do play them next, I'm not the least bit scared of them because when you break it down and match it up, we have just as dominant of a defense. Mm-hmm. In reality, when we were healthy and rolling, I mean, we had just as dominant a defense. The numbers speak to it. So, per se, right? Like, we're top 3 in defense. So, when you look at offense, our offense is way better when everything's clicked, when we have everybody. Our offense is better than their offense. Because look who's at quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a big difference there. So, and then look in the NFC, like who has both sides of the ball better than the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC? And if somebody has an answer for that, I'm dying to know. I don't know. Don't know.
I don't think there's anyone in our conference that can go both sides with us. I think San Fran's the closest. Right, but you're right. I mean, we've already mentioned their questions, right? Question at quarterback. Even their defense is so loaded up front that kind of gets overshadowed. That they're kind of they're a little weak in the secondary. And then I'm not saying our secondary is playing lights out right now either, right? Because we kind of mirror each other in that right now. But yeah, I mean, San Fran would be the closest. Because I just don't think. Dallas has the – I don't think Dallas isn't as close both sides of the football. No.
No. I don't want to say not even close, but not even close.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who's left. That doesn't mean you can't lose. But, Giants, Vikings, okay. Vikings and Giants are like the same goddamn team. Vikings have more wins. So
a negative point differential.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like the same team playing each other. Like, well, somebody's got to win it. I hate to do that. Like, I hate to do that in pro sports. Come postseason is like poo people or poo teams. But like you say, the Niners are close, and that is the closest, probably. But man, we're a problem for them. I'm just telling you, people. They had the same defense last year, and our offense wasn't nearly as good, and we put up points, and probably should have won that football game. Now, it's a year ago. We only got better. Like, we didn't get worse. We got a little bit better offensively. So, and defensively match up to their offense. They had pieces short with a rookie quarterback coming to Lincoln Financial Field in the cold, right? Which we got to play in the cold too, but has to go against a front that can get after you like we can. I don't know the quarterback in the NFC that bodes well for. Whose legs, and that's the next question, and right, you can answer the poll question, but whose legs in the NFC can beat the pressure that we can create? Plenty in the AFC. There's plenty over there. We'll get to them at a different time. But in the NFC, who?
I mean, in reality, the only one that's given us problems in the past has been Danny Dimes, really. You know what I mean? Like, in the past 2 years, he's given us issues with his legs. This year, he didn't. Mm-hmm. This year's he didn't give us issues because we sacked him 75 times.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Dimes going for 200.
That's it. Right? That's it, though. Because we see what Kirk Cousins is big games, right? Brock Purdy isn't super athletic. Tom's not. And Dak is what he is. Dak can move, but he's not gonna like advance. He's gonna scramble to make a bigger play, but he's not gonna run.
Dak's probably the only guy in the NFC that could possibly handle the pressure that we can create on you because of his legs. Because he has the best legs in the NFC.
Yeah,
and the strength too. The size, the legs, he's probably the best. And he can throw better than Danny Dimes, even though Danny Dimey had a good year. He can throw it better than him. I don't want to totally, Dak's a good quarterback. He's just not.
Yeah.
Listen, things change real quick in this business. All right? You go on a run, then you become known as, this guy's pretty good. This guy's better than just a guy, right? He's better than just like what they're calling their franchise guy. He's a top 5 in the league, right? He's never gotten to that point, but leg-wise, he can beat you. So our poll question for everybody just join us. I'll pull it back up for the people. It's pretty.
Gino, agree.
Yeah, that's not Gino. I was just using that to. Oh, there we go.
That would be
Eagles were playing in Super Bowl 57. Agree or disagree? Still let us know. Chime in. There's been 3 agree so far. I think it's hard to disagree with it.
First off, hello guys. Good to see you.
Hello,
Ryan.
Hi.
Been a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As of yesterday, I had an NFC team in the Super Bowl that wasn't named the Philadelphia Eagles. I did.
It's true.
Frank will tell you first because when he was asking like everybody's Super Bowl picks, I had Niners Chiefs as of this time last night. Because for all the reasons we've talked about before, I know, listen, it's Brock Purdy. Team's really freaking good. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And I think if there's a team that is kind of going to be the biggest mismatch for us, it would be the Niners just because of what they can do with time of possession. Obviously, their defense is nothing to really, just kind of poo-poo like we were saying earlier. And we look at the Eagles team, right? And the narrative the last month has been, they're playing some of their worst football. Sure, if you want to look at it like that. I don't necessarily look at it like that. I look at it where Okay, this is what happens when your starting MVP caliber quarterback goes down for a couple games. You don't have CJ, you don't have Maddox again. Oh, and by the way, Lane Johnson, you've missed for the last 3-4 weeks. It's been close to a month, if not a month already. So instead of everyone just saying, oh, we're playing our worst football, it's like, well, there's reasons for that. Not excuses, reasons. And then when I sat back and I looked in and I saw the poll question today, listen, could it be because I'm not going to start 2023 predicting Brock Purdy to beat us in an NFC title game and go to a Super Bowl? Maybe. Could it be because this is the time of unity? We all need to band together around a playoff run? Could it be just because for a majority, I would say 85 to 90, if not the entire year, you could argue we have been the best football team on the planet, not just in the NFC. So I'm going to agree to the poll. I do believe when it's all said and done, while I am concerned about a matchup against San Francisco, I think Dallas could get a little stressful if we have to play them the first week. I just think we're better when it's all said and done. And I think the biggest thing, and this is why the number 1 seed is so important, is Brock Purdy really going to come in here and beat us?
Zero shot. Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
I mean,
zero.
If there's a team where he can, I guess it would be them because he has Debo, McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell that I think is going to be huge, especially for their time of possession. You obviously look at Ayuk, you look at Kittle. Yeah, it makes sense. And I was telling Frank yesterday, I almost caught myself saying it to where I was like, is Brock Purdy almost irrelevant because of how stacked they are? And I said, wait a second, I'm not going to be the one to make an argument that a starting quarterback is irrelevant when you're trying to win an NFC title game. I can't. Doesn't matter how stacked and how good their weapons are. So to me, I think it's going to be a very stressful game if we have to play the 49ers. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they were already eliminated before we have to see them.
That'd be nice.
But I do think, listen, it's not us going to them. It's not us going to Dallas. It's whoever is left standing. Obviously, hopefully we play and we win that first playoff game before we even have to worry about facing a supposed San Francisco team, in the third round. I'm honestly going with the Eagles because they've shown us so many different ways to win. And this whole, oh my God, they're not playing well. They're not playing like a playoff team. They're playing more like a one and done team. I don't buy into that. If they were doing it when they were having Lane Johnson still healthy and they were doing it with Jalen Hurts and they still, their defense was still not causing the turnovers if CJ was still healthy, okay, fine. Maybe that they were a little bit like the Arizona Cardinals last year or the Steelers from a couple years ago. But when you miss and you lose crucial guys, there's reasons for that. Now, listen, I think this is all going to come down to one man, and it's not Jalen Hurts. It is Lane Johnson. I truly do. And by all means, it sounds like he's going to try to play. I don't, listen, not even a doctor, I think, could really guess what kind of Lane Johnson, as far as health, is going to be out there. I think he's going to try and play, and if I see the only way he's coming off the field is if he's that much of a liability. But I would say a 60% Lane Johnson is better than anything else you're going to have out there. And that's not a shot at Jack Driscoll. It's just that's
it should be.
It could be.
Could be.
Well, yeah, because he's kind of
there's a reason guys are backups in this league. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not like a shot. The reason you're a backup. The reason the other guy is arguably, when he's healthy, the best right tackle in football. So I mean, he's the biggest key outside of Jalen Hurts. And we talked about that. We talked about that a lot last week. That so when I look at us in the postseason, I expect him to play, and I could also see, depending on who we play in the first round, that maybe it's another week for him. I don't know. But you can't think like that because you're playing an NFL team. So if he says he's going to play, I gotta believe he's going to play. I gotta believe he can handle the pain tolerance that comes with it. And if there's a guy who can do it, it would be him. And I really will stand by this. If the time comes, because we're not there yet, because we got to win a game, they got to win a game. But if we play the Niners, I'm telling you, it's going to be my lock of my career. It's like a career lock, and it's not a shot at them as a football team. There's 0% chance. Like you have to give them the game. Like you literally have to turn the ball over 3 or 4 times for him to come in here and beat you because of how good your defense is. We're not the Arizona Cardinals this year that he goes lights up. We're not some of the teams he lit up, and they're NFL teams. I get it, but we're at the upper echelon on that side of the ball. as much as Jonathan Gannon drives us crazy at times, and all that stuff, right? Okay, as much as all that's happened, we're loaded over there. Like and I think that we've forgotten it a little bit because we've had our ebb and flows. But up front, we're loaded, and it's like, okay, there was a point in time where I'd be scared of somebody coming in and shoving it down, shoving it up my asshole in a playoff game. Those times went away. Those times went away with sort of the addition of Sue and Joseph to me. I respect everybody's run game, but I can't. If Elijah Mitchell comes in here and tears me up, well, then I got a lot of question marks on who I'm bringing back next year. Right? And their offensive line's really good over there too. It's Goliath everywhere, but the quarterback position. And it's such a big separation. You're talking about arguably the MVP of the league. He's not going to get that, but we'll just say arguably because it's still arguably, right? And a seventh round Mr. Irrelevant, who's played well. I get it. He's played well. The other guys played elite.
Yeah.
Elite. That's the difference maker. Will they beat Seattle? 98% chance, but it's also the third time they got to play them. It's the third time divisional game. That's always tough. They should win. If they lose, it's a failure. But we can be worried about their defense, and we can be worried about their skill position players, and rightfully so. But when I'm watching that guy warm up before the game, good luck. Good luck. Because right, you said it and I said before you came on, but you're traveling here. This isn't the friendly confines of whatever the hell your stadium's called in San Fran. That Frank probably knows it. But
Levi Stadium, the
Levi
Field
Stadium
of
now. Okay, Field of Jeans. Love that one, Field of Jeans. But it's not there. It's not your home environment. So things change on the road. And I think for a rookie, for any rookie, he can be the number one pick of the fucking draft. I'll tell you, he's not coming here and win. Rookie year.
Do you guys worry at all? Because this is, aside from their defense, which obviously concerns me, it's that they can very easily follow the mold that two way lesser teams with way worse quarterbacks did against us, and they were both here. I'm worried about what they can do with better skill position players.
Well, real quick, before you answer that, answer this.
Yeah.
You say their defense concerns you, right? And there's a respect for their defense because they play at an elite level. But real quick, take a step back for a second and say to yourself, well, the other side of the ball here is fucking elite too. So it's you know what I mean? It's not we lose that side. Makes sense in terms of their defense versus our offense, right? Because they're both elite.
Mm-hmm.
They're both elite. So that's the difference. So is their defense, is their offense versus our defense? Who wins that match? Who's a better matchup there?
I guess that kind of goes to my question, because you saw what the Saints and the Commanders did, and this kind of goes to where I don't want to say Jalen Hurts becomes irrelevant, but they kept Jalen Hurts off the field and this is what Shanahan's going to do, and he has far better chance to do it, compared to what Andy Dalton and the Saints did and Taylor Heineke and the Commanders did, to where he's just going to pick and prod, or he's going to use McCaffrey, he's going to use Mitchell, he's going to run it out of backfield with Kittle, or he's going to throw these 3-yard slants to Kittle, get the ball out quick, and they're going to go on these 7 and 9 minute drives. And then they're going to play keep away. And then it's oh, okay, now you have the ball. Oh, you don't have Lane Johnson. Oh, Lane Johnson's only at 50%. Oh, hi, here's Bosa. And again, if I'm betting, I'm still picking the Eagles. So I'm not trying to illustrate.
No. You're illustrating away, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. And then I'm illustrating it right back because he's got to throw the ball enough. He can't come in here to your point. I get it. That's regular season. The Saints did a good job of it. Washington did a good job of it. So two teams did a good job of it, per se. But if you really look at the overall body of our work, that wasn't always the case, sure. Right? It wasn't always the case, but we've seen the recipe to be able to do that. Now we got to expect that and hope our coaching staff going against a rookie quarterback would say, okay, this is how this is going to go. Everybody and their mother's getting bumped out here, right? We're coming up and pressing everybody, and we'll mix it up. but we're not allowing you time for anything. And I think that's where you then win that fight. Because I think if you're loading boxes up to stop the run and force them to beat you, what we have at our skill position on our defensive side of the football too, I think that's a hard matchup for them to win because of who's throwing the football. Right? I think that's and I think that's what we both agree on and everybody agrees on. That's the difference maker from San Francisco coming here with Jimmy G or Brock Purdy just because of the experience. I'm way more scared of San Fran that way than I am with Purdy, even though they've been lights out since he's taken over.
John, I'm not directing this to you, John, more directing this at the chance of this being real. So he said, Ryan, did the Eagles just start getting bored with the regular season? Kind of felt like that. If they did, they should seriously fire themselves. And I say that for a team that won 14 games because they didn't clinch a 1 seed in an NFC title in week freaking 11. If you clinch everything by then you can get bored. But if you're still playing for something in week effing 18 against a divisional opponent, they better not have been bored. They better not have been freaking bored.
I don't think Giants was bored. I do think before Dallas, you win that game in Chicago and you're 1 win away from locking it all up. You're running away with it. I mean, just the natural human beings get looser, right? That's just natural. And then you're without your MVP, right, of your team. So, and you're going to Dallas. I thought that was a dogfight. I thought I thought overall, besides our turnovers, we showed up. There was no question about did we show up down there? We showed up. Now the next week, I'm not fond of that week. I'm not happy with it. Saints are fighting for their lives in that football game. We got a back. I hate to see saying, but he is. He's a backup in this league playing. Yeah. And what am I expecting? In reality, you should beat us, right? And then week 18, I just think it's not as much vanilla as I'm not going to put myself in harm's way, and as play callers, we're not going to put them in harm's way. But I will bet people $1 million right now that his body's in harm's way next Sunday when he suits up. I bet you that this offense looks a lot different in terms of what they do next Sunday or Saturday when he suits up. You can book that.
Well, it better because it's win or go home.
Right. I mean, how's he not healthy? I mean, I got to ask you. I'm not a doctor. I didn't say the Holiday Inn the other night. I don't know.
We do know a doctor.
We do know Doc, and Doc's going to be on when it's this Sunday.
There we
Perfect
go.
time to talk about the shoulder. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Frank, locations?
In Cherry Hill and not too far away from my house in Burlington.
Oh, want to give you your address, Frank?
If you see the doc, see Frank.
Yeah. I'm right across the cornfield.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah.
There's still any left in the Burlington area?
There are a few, and this one's not going to be occupied by a warehouse. Thank God.
Oh, my goodness. So what I don't want to get into, though, is what we're doing. I cannot look ahead right now.
True.
That was the poll question, look ahead, right? And we did that. Yeah. So now I don't want to look ahead. I want to look at potentially what's coming to Lincoln Financial Field next Saturday or Sunday, because that's the most important, right? The other stuff's fun. We opened with it. It's the time to open with it. I've held off on allowing a poll question like this until this time of the year starts. Now you have that conversation, right? Week 10, I can't do it yet. I can't have undefeated talk. I can't have Super Bowl talk. I don't care about none of it. Just get me to the playoffs, and then we can start having this conversation. So, we all agreed, and I think we all agreed for a lot of similar reasons, and that we are the best team. What our eyes have showed us this year, we're the best team. If people want to get all up in arms over the last 3 games, be my goddamn guest. Because the game before the Bears game, which was 5 degrees, may I add, okay, and 50-mile winds probably, Windy City. The game before that, we rolled the Giants.
Yep.
Rolled them. Rolled them. So what are we acting like we play bad football? And even down the stretch where we didn't play great, you want to go Bears on, we still went 2-2. And 2 of those games that we lost, guess who played? So, I mean, if people want to sit there and be negative all the time, Ryan, I just allow it to happen now. If you just want to live your life looking for something, live it. because I'm going to live off of what they showed me all year. And what they showed me all year is the best team in the NFC, and it's not a question.
I really, because obviously I've been watching from afar, so you guys would know this better than I would the last couple weeks. Are people really looking at this past game against the Giants and looking at that being like, that's truly what the Eagles are? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
I think some the last 3 weeks have made them, have soured them. I think also some are worried about the health of what is the true health of the superhero that Nick Sirianni needed to tell us about, who's still not fully healed, supposedly. So, I mean, you want to sit and tell reporters, Nick. I mean, I love you, Nick, okay? I do. But this is where I got to call people out. And the more reporters should have called him out right in that conversation. Like, he heals faster than you. Well, he's a pro athlete. Most of them do. So when would how fast is fast, Nick? Like this week fast, or are you just playing games with Dallas? So you wanted to get cute, play games with Dallas. I knew what you were doing that week. All right, we knew what you were doing. So they've never been honest about what the injury is. And then what we talked about after last Sunday on how they were saying that he was sore. So
he's still sore apparently,
and he's still sore. Like why? It's supposedly a grade 2. Like it could grade 3 would be surgery, right? So it's got to be a 1 or a 2 in terms of the grade of the sprain. So, and I'm not the doc, but I'm going to tell you, 1 to 2. That's a couple weeks. I mean, 1 might be a week, right? But the most 2 is 3 or 4. What are we doing?
You know what I'm quickly realizing, and we realized this last year. It's kind of like we've kind of ignored it for a while, but I'm quickly remembering. I think Nick Sirianni just really likes to talk. He just really likes to say words.
Can't blame him,
so
man.
friggin' fast. And then he realizes, oh, wait, I said the exact opposite thing 30 seconds ago. Like, I don't know if it's like the whole competitive advantage BS that he pulls with every week. And then he just overthinks himself. And he's like, well, not only are we trying to confuse the team we're playing, but now I'm talking so much that we're actually confusing our own teammates and media, because when Gardner Minshew's asked things, or Dallas Goedert or AJ Brown, they're all giving different answers. And like, I don't know what's going on. Like Nick's kind of, he's like, we can tell he's his own character and nobody really cares about that. It's kind of just like, okay, can you coach football on Sunday and the occasional Thursday? Like, okay, fine. I laugh when people take the last 3 weeks, 2 of which were with a completely different human at quarterback, not an MVP candidate, guy who's a flat out backup. Okay. No disrespect to the mustache. And they take that at face value and say, this is what the Eagles are. When 2 of them, once again, are with another human, all 3 are without a Lane Johnson, 2 are without a Gardner Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was with Jalen Hurts and everybody's ready to go like it's week 1 and we put up the same things that we did against the Saints, okay, maybe I'll sound the alarms a little bit. But to me, it seemed like, okay, against the Giants, Jalen Hurts get your feet wet. We're going to give a very vanilla type offense where you're not even a threat to run. Boom, we're going against backups. It's going to be good enough to just escape with a win. Okay, that's fine. I think we all understand that if their red zone was even, I would say at a C- level, they win the game by 20 points. It's just that their offense was awesome.
Would have been nice.
The offense was awesome. They get to the 20-yard line, and because he cannot run and he's not a threat, our red zone offense kind of sucks when he can't move around. So there you go. It turns into field goals, not touchdowns. That's the difference of the game. The other two games, I can't even begin to describe why people were upset about. I get the effort side with the Saints. I don't care who's playing quarterback. They just didn't show up to play.
Yeah. What usually happens after a big week like the week before, where you lose in sort of tough fashion against your rival with the backup. That's sort of the air quote trap games, when people want to talk about trap games. That's when they sort of come, right? No Jalen again, right? You just sort of go through your motions that week and you get smacked in the mouth, right? But I think bigger, like we talk about Lane, but I even think if Lane Johnson doesn't play at all this year, but Jalen plays every game, this is still a 12-win football team. That's how good this football team is. And that is taking nothing away from the numbers we know about Lane Johnson or his greatness. That's how good this football team is. Now, postseason-wise, a different animal, right? Postseason-wise, you need a guy like that. But I think if a guy like Driscoll had to start day one and got the reps day one starts, etc., maybe he could be more serviceable than he is, obviously, than he's shown. Now, I would have to go back and look on how he played, last Sunday because I don't really remember. But I would venture to guess it wasn't great. Again, and against backups too. So it's not great. It's not something you want, no matter who's coming to town, because obviously Dallas can get after you, Tampa can get after you, the Giants love to get after people. Vikings not as much, but all those teams round one for you would all want to, all do a pretty good job again after you. So, that's my biggest concern. But I can't see him not playing after he pushed off surgery to play. So I think that's like a done deal.
40 boy, it's a combination of a couple of things. One, it's the capability to get guys back. Tom, you mentioned it with Lane Johnson. Josh Sweat is at least on pace to play. Again, Nick Sirianni playing games. Oh, we're not going to say he's going to play, but he could play, but he couldn't play. If he's got a 50-50 chance of playing, I'm going to assume it's going to be a game-time decision we might see. Another game back of a healthy Gardner Johnson. You might get Avonte Maddox back. The capabilities to get crucial guys back with that week off is a big difference maker to me. And listen, if you get Lane Johnson back and he's reasonably healthy, you're already that much better. If you can get the other guys, that's obviously awesome to begin with. And the biggest thing is, I think my biggest concern as a whole with the team is this coaching staff. Not necessarily Sirianni, but the coordinators. And this isn't me like going hindsight 2020. I've never been the biggest Steichen guy ever. I just think that both of the coordinators on this team are products of how damn talented this roster is. And sometimes they just do too much to get in their own way sometimes.
Yeah, real quick, I don't know enough about Shane to have really an opinion on him besides hey, this offense was top 2 or 3 in football. So that's all I know of Shane. And any coordinator you get offensively, right? To play devil's advocate with that side of Shane is whoever you get is going to do something you want him to do more of, right? Like we all do, run the ball a little bit more, Shane. Wake up, right? I get it because I'm found the same thing. But Shane to me isn't the problem here. Shane to me won't be the reason, coaching wise, why we don't get to where we want to get to. That's going to come on the defense side of football, and that's going to decide on Jonathan Gannon, who, again, I would have fired him last year. But throughout this year, his unit, who's uber talented, have arguably been the best unit in the NFC, right? And a top unit in all football. So it's hard to say, hey, that guy's done a terrible job because he hasn't. I think he's done a very, very, very good job this year. Does he have big time flaws in my opinion? Yes. Early in games, he gets nervous. He wants to bend, not break so bad that he allows his defense to get bent and 8-minute tries, 7-minute tries. So if Jonathan, the biggest thing that Jonathan, people say, everybody just wants to blitz more. That's all everybody wants him to do. You don't know football. I'm not asking you to blitz more. No. What I'm asking you to do is when you have 2 corners that are big and physical and you're playing the New Orleans Saints or the Washington Commanders, what I need you to do is get those guys up in people's faces, and you have a front 4 who can get after the whole country. Allow yourself to dictate how we're going to play football today. That's my biggest problem with Jonathan Gannon. It's not he doesn't blitz enough anymore because he's gotten away with that because of what his front's done. Okay? What his front's done has allowed him not to blitz. So it plays right into what he wants to do. So I'm not going to complain about blitzing more when we put up these historic numbers. That being said, if you're not getting home at halftime of a football game in the playoffs, guess what you need to do a little bit more of?
Switch it up.
Yeah, so it's not like 8 blitz every play.
Well,
look at the difference from last year to this year. Granted, we definitely have different players, right? Hassan Reddick is the biggest one.
Mhm.
But the difference between last year and this year is that front four couldn't get home on their own. This front four could.
Well, and we didn't have the corners we have. And
right, you didn't have Bradbury on the other side of Slay. Absolutely.
Greg, it's a great point because the list goes on. Like, we would be exposing him if his front wasn't getting home.
The linebacking group that you have right now.
But you can't be one way or the other. Like, you don't have to be. You have to be a guy who can play it down the middle, right? It's about timely blitzes and not blitzing all the time, right? It's about feeling the room out and saying, okay, we're struggling with this today, right? We got to then change it up, or whatever the case may be. And that's the problem I haven't seen from him fully. That being said, I've seen him make second half adjustments. I've seen him do things that have been good this year. Okay, so I know it's not a shit all party. It's saying, hey, if there's one guy who can cost us where we want to go, coaching staff wise, it's probably Jonathan Gannon. If he's missionary.
Well,
that's it. It's about blitz and timely, playing pressure, then playing zone, then playing playing a different kind of zone. Like, it's about changing it up throughout your football game. And the bigger thing, right, Greg, Frank, is about playing to your players' strengths. And if you call yourself a DB guy, well, you see the size of my two DBs? Like, you think they want a little guy to get off the ball on them, or any guy that can maybe blow by them? No. They get handsy early sometimes, get your guys home quicker. Right? And when the safety play you have, like, you should allow yourself to do that sometimes. You should trust in your safeties, especially when Gardner Johnson's here, right?
And they did early on.
Yeah, when you're fully healthy, you should absolutely trust in your safeties and your corners. If this full backfield defensively is healthy, you should be able to trust those guys to say, you know what? Hey, you two back there, we're going to leave you on a little island here, right? You should be able to trust it.
Yep.
And they haven't, and he hasn't fully.
Everyone always goes to the blitz thing when they're trying to defend Jonathan Gannon. And again, like, nobody, you said it, Tom, we've all said it, like, nobody's saying that he's done a bad job this season. Clearly. I mean,
he should have blitzed 1,000 times last year, but that's last year, right?
Yes.
We weren't wrong last year. We weren't wrong last year.
No. Last year was an example because guys were not getting home with the four-man rush. This year, because of talent, it's different. Of the 70, 71 sacks we have this year, I read it this morning. 52 of them were on a four-man rush. So we're not preaching the blitz. We're not at all.
It would have been the same amount. You understand? It would have been the same amount of sacks if we had the same unit.
So
simple. He's not doing nothing special up front.
No.
Like, everybody stunts. Real quick, right? Like, people want to tell me, like, you see how much he stunts? Get a fucking clue. Okay? Because the whole NFL stunts. All right? So it ain't about that. It's about you can stunt us for, and we still ain't getting home. So at the end of the day, what gets home is talent.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Unless you're dropping them back in coverage.
Yeah. And then he admits, which I do like, you know what I mean? He would add whatever more if I didn't drop back in coverage. So listen, in the playoffs, you can't. And
does Jonathan Gannon realize that he's the one who controls that?
Does he also realize that against San Fran, per se, that he could run a 3-linebacker set?
Good.
Like he could play N'Kobe. Like, you ever try that, John?
Wow.
Like, you want to help out your linebacker coverage? You could play N'Kobe.
He might need. Listen, I understand they didn't want to throw N'Kobe into the fire, and early in the season they really didn't have to. Kaiser White, I don't know if he's burnt. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he just sucks now.
My question to you is, what fire after you win a national championship?
Good point.
You don't know. That's what I'd ask. That's what I'd ask John.
Yeah.
Where's the fire, John? Guy was the captain of his defense that just won a national championship. You think he hasn't? You think big moments?
And was the leader of arguably the best defense in college football.
Like, and what was he always praised for, Greg? Reading and recognizing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like, it's not like this is the most, super. He's super athletic, but you know what I mean? Like the most athletic guy in the country, like Micah Parsons. Like, no, the guy's a great read and react guy. And like you said, right, he's smart. And like, okay, that plays right to the next level. Like Kirby's defense, which, I love. Kirby's defense isn't much different than a pro-style defense. that he's calling plays for last year. Like, I mean, and I'm not pounding the table for the guy at this point, but like you could have throughout the year ran a couple 4-3s. Like you realize that, right? Just to help everybody out there.
Yeah,
you say, well, Tom, the personnel
what's the worst that's going to happen?
Match up.
What's the worst that's going to happen? That look's going to show you something, and then it's going to be even a bigger weapon going forward. Like I always relate it to.
We're talking about big packages. Sorry, Ryan. We're talking about you understand that some teams run the big packages against you. Some teams will run. Some teams aren't running, all 3 wide receiver sets all the time. Sometimes, and when they do run 3 wide receiver sets, okay, so you have the cover guys to pull that off. Like a linebacker can bump a slot guy, like just to help you guys out there. There's ways to run zones where like, okay, if I'm running a 4-3, the Kobe's not covering one-on-one your slot guy. Like there's ways to do it if you're trying to protect yourself from getting punched in the mouth, right? On the run game. There's ways to help your run game out. Sorry, we can do this all night.
The last thing I'll say, I relate it to, and you guys know this with baseball, Jonathan Gannon, it's like he's got the freaking note card that they've got in the back pocket. He's got it in his hands. And it's like, John, put the freaking card down. You're getting shredded by Andy effing Dalton. He's going 14 for 15 on a 9-minute drive. Put the note. Actually, don't put it down. Throw it in the garbage. Do something out there. Your players are freaking suffering out there because they're dead. One's dropping back in coverage. The other one's standing on freaking Marge. He's barely on the field. That's how far back he is. Like this is what I'm talking about. The guy's got to take off the sunglasses, put the card down, and this is the guy who says that he doesn't run a like a standard defense. He adjusts based off of strengths. I didn't say that. Tom didn't say that. Frank didn't say it. Greg didn't say it. He said it.
Yeah,
for almost 2 years ago. Then do it then, John. Don't do it when you're up 45 to freaking 6. Do it when you're down by 10 points going in the fourth quarter.
How about this? This genius last week decides to play Gardner Johnson in a slot and not a safety. I mean, listen, go fuck yourself. You are an idiot. Okay, Josiah Scott is you make Josiah Scott the scapegoat for CD Lamb? Come on, man. That ain't even right. Because you did nothing to help the kid. You just let CD, you let him go one-on-one all day and get exposed. That ain't right. Nobody's covering CD in the slot. So now Josiah Scott's your scapegoat for that loss? Come on, man. Who's the better cover guy on your back end? Reed Blankenship, with all due respect, or the league leader in interceptions? Well, I'll tell you who it is, okay? So don't tell me that you're going to hurt. This is where in 2017, coaching staff didn't get in our way, right? We didn't move guys around offensive line-wise, right, when guys got hurt. We kept laying at right tackle, remember? We weren't going to hurt 2 positions for 1. Same thing here. You're hurting 2 positions for 1. Like, leave Gardner Johnson where he's shown this year he's been elite. Leave him there. And let Josiah continue to play the slot. Not saying over time he's going to get better, but, like, he also had a big pick in that Saints game before he came back. Yep. Right? So it's not like he didn't make a big play in that game to sort of redeem himself for bad play, for not bad play, but, getting torched by CD. So, come on, man. That's the stuff that drives me insane. That's the stuff as a coach, if I can sit on my goddamn couch and tell you, don't do that, please. And people online argue with me when I said not to do that. People are like, what do you mean? Like, he's an elite slot guy. He's not an elite slot guy. Calm down. He's a very good slot guy. But
he's just an experienced slot guy from his past.
Yeah, he's at the most picks of his career right now. So what do we talk about? Playing safety. I think he translates to being a better safety than a slot guy. He's a tremendous football player wherever you want to put him. But if I play to my player's strengths, then I would play him at safety. But John's a jerk-off. So that's all my point. John's a jerk-off. So Houston, the fact that Houston loves him so much tells me all I need to know. It tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, Houston is such a trash organization.
Trashy.
No matter
fire
what,
coach after he wins a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. The guy just got there. You're not going to give him a minute? You're going to give him a minute? Like, you play to win the game. You don't play for 1 or 2 pick. Like, either way, like, people, Chicago is going to definitely trade the picks. Well, first off, it's hard to get up to number 1. Right? Hard to get up to number 1. and you could also just take a star.
Yeah.
Like, call it a day. Like,
That's a roster that needs a couple stars. I don't think.
Yeah, like,
And there's
Chicago's
two big ones on the defensive side sitting there in your face.
That's the thing. Like, everyone says, like, oh,
One just won a natty.
Yep.
Listen,
And the other's nicknamed the Terminator. So
you know I'm king trade. So I'm all for, like, oh, they could trade the pick for 5 picks. Fine. That's right up my alley. But everyone's saying, oh, they're not going to take a quarterback. You don't have to take a quarterback with the first overall pick. I understand that people are going to try to. And if they don't take one at 1, then there's certainly going to be one taken at 2 and maybe 3. But you're allowed to take other skill position players or other players in general. That's allowed.
They could.
Oh, yeah, I know. I see it. The Justin Fields traded
I could absolutely.
Oh, I've already got him on the Falcons, Tom. I've already got him on the Falcons.
Like, I could see them dealing him. Yep, for a lot.
Here's another one.
And take Stroud. Like, I can see him take Stroud or Young or whoever, right? Whoever their GM falls in love with at a combine, right? Like, whatever one, because either one I think is a good pick. Maybe not for Chicago because it's so cold. I think Stroud is better for Chicago. I think he's got a better arm than Bryce Young. Right? You need like the bazooka type. Where I don't know if Fields has bazooka either. I think he wants to run around too much. He holds the football too much. I think when you watch as a general manager, you worry. You worry because he doesn't get rid of the football. He doesn't read and process quick enough.
I actually think it's the opposite, Tommy. I think they're so bad weapons-wise, he had to run. I think a lot of his struggles early on in his career is because he was trying to be a quarterback and not use his athleticism. And where he started to develop was he was doing that. But here's the thing. Fields for Lamar, who says no?
Oh, the Bears. If I'm the Bears, I say no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on. We'll get into it. The guy just quit on his football team, did he not? Something's missing here.
Yeah, I don't think GMs. I don't think that's part of today's game anymore. Like
to me it is.
Like I know it is to you, and I know it is to old school guys, but like I don't think that's a part of today's NFL because people are gonna be like, oh well, they didn't pay him, so why should he play?
He's got the number two. Real quick, he's got the number 2 defense in the NFL since they traded for Roquan Smith. I mean,
no, I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, elite level defensive.
They paid Roquan before they paid Lamar.
Good, because he's playing.
I don't even get.
And Ozzie Newsome, right? Still Ozzie, right? It's still Ozzie.
I think he left.
He left, but whatever. A disciple.
Yeah.
Right. A disciple of Ozzie. Right. A disciple of Ozzie. It's not about paying the guy. He's been hurt. Yeah. Like how are you backing a brink truck up? You want to get paid, so you can come back. You were questionable, or you were day-to-day when the injury happened. You were day-to-day. That day they turned into 5 weeks. How did that happen? Day-to-day. And you still aren't at practice? I'm not shitting on Lamar, but that's a bad look.
Well, see, I don't even
I mean, like I said, he's not paid. So, at this point, he's like, why am I getting
But he is getting paid, though.
Well, he's getting paid for the year, yeah.
He's on the contract.
He's not. So he's going to make sure he's healthy. He's going to make sure he's healthy then.
True, but that's a terrible look out of what's going to be a franchise quarterback.
I don't disagree. I don't think that matters as much anymore like it did to the old school generation.
I can't.
You know what I mean?
Okay. What is not playing? What is that playing? Saying I love you. Don't tell me about a team business. Do not business me when you're under contract and you start the year with your team. You want to sit out? Sit it all out. You understand me? Then don't play at all.
Yeah.
Which then, okay, guess what? That's your decision. You want to hold out? Hold out. You don't hold out after the party starts. You don't hold out. Come on. Knock it off. You want to hold out. I'm all good with people holding out and getting theirs. You do not hold out when the party starts. That ain't old school. That's school. That's school. I wait for somebody to argue with that shit. I want no parts of that guy now. And I would be all over him at the beginning of the year if you said, Tom, you get Lamar. I get Lamar for Hurts? What'd you say? Say that again? Right? Because I think he's just he's a freak, right?
Yeah.
But come on, you can't. I'm not saying he quit. I'm saying it seems like he quit. Like, where are you? You were day-to-day, and it's 5 weeks later. So now we're going to talk about not getting paid? That's the reason now? Come on, bro. Then hold out and force their hand like your agent should have told you to do if this is the game you wanted to play before the season started.
Doesn't have an agent.
But he doesn't have an agent.
Then be your own agent because then you ain't smart enough to
bet on
negotiate
himself and he lost bad.
Frank, you're so right, Frank, because he did lose bad. He lost terribly, okay? And he's getting terrible advice from anybody in his corner right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg, do not tell me that whatever's happening here doesn't circle around the league and people know more than we know, maybe, and that isn't held against him by some organization.
Well, I'll tell you
by some, yes.
Well,
but I think an organization like the Bears, who apparently have $100 million to go out and spend on weapons, I think would eat up like a veteran guy like that over a young kid.
Yeah, see, to me,
like you team Lamar and D-Hop up in Chicago. I think that's very intriguing to them.
I don't even get to the point where I'm questioning.
We've seen that one.
I'm not even getting to the point where I'm questioning whether or not he quit on the team or that. Like, I don't even get that far. I look at it to where the guy has been injured now extensively, back-to-back years.
Well, no,
we all knew when he was drafted that if he was even still playing at that point, he was going to hit a wall. Hello, wall, we're here. We are here. Guys of any style or play in any sport, once they get hurt, they never get healthier. You especially can equate that to this. So, quit on the team, didn't quit on the team, told not to play, told to play, whatever the true reason is. I don't want any part of it. It's because I'm getting a running quarterback that I don't know if he can freaking run without falling apart anymore.
Yeah, he's at that point now.
Yeah, I can. If this was Lamar coming off the MVP season, and Justin Fields for an MVP caliber Lamar before the 2 injuries that kept him out, I think combined 10 weeks the last 2 seasons.
Oh, right, and not to mention he stunk. He was not good this year.
No, he cost. They led the league.
I had him in fantasy. He was not good.
Before the Colts were giving up historic leads, and before the Bills gave up that entire gigantic lead to the Vikings, you know who was coughing up leagues every single week? It was the freaking Ravens. You know who the quarterback of the Ravens were? Oh, no, it wasn't Huntley. It wasn't Malcolm Brown or whoever this third string guy is. No, it was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like he's just not – it doesn't –
You see it happen all the time. Guys fall off after that big monster year, and that's why you'll hear me say that if you're a smart organization like the Philadelphia Eagles are, they're going to wait. If you think and they very well could, because they know better than we know in-house, right? But most smart organizations, after that monster year, if they don't have to pay you yet, they might wait. Go do it again, right? And to the Baltimore Ravens' credit, he's not duplicated that season.
No.
And that's not a shot at the guy. He's not duplicated. And I'm like, how do you duplicate MVP seasons? Well, the greats do it all the time.
Rodgers just did it. We just saw Rodgers do it. We just saw Rodgers. Mahomes does it every year.
Every year. I mean, guys on pace for 400 touchdowns within 4 years.
Brady's had a couple good years.
I don't think we realize how good of a quarterback great of a quarterback and historical that we're watching with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But we'll get into all that, the full playoff picture. Who's coming? I guess we could do it in our predictions, but who's coming to the link in a week and a half? Is it the Giants, Tampa, Dallas? I think it's the Giants.
Let's go, G-Man.
I think
Big
it's the
G-Man fan this week. I will say, I mentioned this, Tommy, in our group chat. Outside of Seattle winning and shocking the Niners, whoever we play is going to be on a short week. Because Tampa and Dallas play Monday night, so they're not going to play Saturday. They're going to play it earliest Sunday.
Yep.
The Giants play Saturday, so if the Giants win, then we no longer play Tampa or Dallas. So that means our game next week is going to be on Saturday, and we most likely play somebody on a short week.
See, I thought it would. Greg, you might be right. I thought it was. If it's Seattle, we play Saturday. If it's the Giants, we play Sunday. And if it's Dallas or Tampa Bay, we play Sunday. That's what I thought. To avoid that,
could be true.
To avoid what you just said, and that is a short week for one of those teams.
Yeah.
Well, no, because what the problem is that the Dallas Tampa winner on Monday night,
Well,
We'll
that
have
would
to
be a
play
short week
Sunday.
they
regardless.
have to be on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
they can't go to
definitely
Saturday.
So if they win, we play Sunday. If anybody else wins, that would come here. Besides them, we play Saturday
We play Saturday.
because they had to have that slot on Sunday because of the Monday.
They couldn't
game.
go 5 days.
Yeah.
True.
You couldn't do that. So I mean, I would love it, but no.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't get the Giants on a short week per se. You get them on a regular week.
The Giants play
Sunday.
Yeah, and then we would play
The Giants
Sunday.
play Sunday. We play Saturday.
Oh, they play Sunday.
So
Giants
you
play.
do
You
get them
said
on a short
Saturday.
week.
Okay, you said Saturday.
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play Sunday.
Okay, yes. So you do get them on. Okay, nice.
So outside of Seattle, we would play somebody on a short week.
And that's a
Guaranteed.
short week too, if you look at it, because they got to travel 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's a little shortish. And they go through. Even if they steal that game, I mean that's a
They
that's
blow
a
their
phy-
load. They blow their
that's
load.
a physical game coming.
Yeah.
coming in
That's
that.
a load blower.
Do you want to just run through the games and then that'll basically answer our question
Yeah, let's do that.
instead of us like spoil? Because if we were like, oh, we'll see this team, then we're kind of spoiling our picks. I mean, I don't care. Hey, whatever you want to do.
Well, I can do that. I don't give a shit. I'm just
Okay.
talking.
Good point. All right, so the first game.
All we started talking about was NFC title game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I was like, let's circle back.
Yeah.
Let's get back to maybe
Easy
who's
now.
coming here first. Like we might have did 45 minutes on the Niners coming to town. So which is great. It's great.
You
I
know
love
what's
talking.
beautiful about that? Usually when we prep for a team, we never end up seeing them.
That's
You know
my
what I'm saying?
problem because we might not get there to see them.
Oh, so you're going that way.
Yeah,
going
we're-
maybe. Okay. All right. I see. See, I was going like, oh, maybe they might not be around after Saturday. But
Like I'll overlook the Giants in Seattle, but I can't overlook Dallas or Tampa. Like overlook. Like I think I know we're better, but like those two teams, because one of them's coming off a win, right? So
Yep.
You're like, okay, it's a formidable opponent coming to town. The other two, I just don't think they stand a chance.
all right. So first game of the weekend, 4:35 on Saturday. Seattle traveling to San Francisco. San Francisco currently 9.5-point favorites. Over under set at 42.5.
What am I giving here? Am I picking against the spread or?
You can just give me the winner.
Oh man.
I am gonna go with the Niners over Seattle.
I think one of these games is going to be the upset. It's either going to be Giants over the Vikings, or it's going to be this one. I know it's their third time playing, but give me the Niners.
Great.
Yeah, I think the Niners win, but I think like Seattle. If we're going spread, I think Seattle covers.
Yeah, I would think Seattle covering.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go 49ers by like 12. Saturday night, 8:15. LA Chargers traveling to Jacksonville. The Chargers are currently 2-point road favorites.
Wow, it went back up. The day it came out, it dipped down to 1.5.
Chargers are going to be the Chargers. What we've watched from the Jaguars is, they're learning to win in different ways too. I think they're very dangerous. It's in Jacksonville. I'm going Jacksonville. The Chargers are always going to charge her until they don't. So,
yeah, Jags.
I am going to take the Chargers.
Hopefully they don't burn
Yeah, I'm
you
with
like
you.
they burned me.
I wish Mike Williams was going to be healthy, and he might be healthy. But the smartest guy in the room, Brandon Staley, decides that he was going to get him hurt. But I can't root for Doug Peterson in this spot as much as I like Trevor Lawrence. I can't root for Doug. Go Chargers.
I mean, it's going to be a fun game regardless, and two
what a loser comment.
budding Super Bowl, two budding superstar quarterbacks in Herbert and Sunshine. So this is going to be a fun watch.
I almost feel like the best thing for the Chargers is to get blown out so they fire Brandon Staley.
Ooh,
serious.
yes.
Serious. They're never going to want that guy.
And plus, Tommy, fantasy's over. Justin Herbert's done bending me over in fantasy, so he's going to come out and just spin it all over the field on Sunday.
Now he slings it. All right, what's the Sunday slate?
Starts off 105 on Sunday. The Dolphins traveling to Buffalo.
Bills by a million.
Yeah, Bill.
Buffalo.
Line's 13.
What is it? What's it up to now? 13?
Yeah, I just know what. Tua's not playing. Teddy's like a game
it's
time.
Skyler. It's Skyler.
Oh, it is. It's officially
they announced
Skyler?
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I might not even watch this game. Jesus,
K-State's own.
Yeah,
give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't even know if I need to make a pick here. The team without the fin. 440. The Giants traveling to Minnesota. Vikings 3-point home favorites.
Listen, both teams, like I said, both teams have won a ton of close games. I think this is a dogfight. I'm going to take the Giants. I think what they do defensively on how they love to bring pressure is something that doesn't really bode well for a guy like Kirk Cousins too often. And I think they're gonna bring blitzes timely, and I think they're gonna get home, and I think it's gonna create enough pressure for them to get some takeaways this week. I think the Giants win this football game. I do.
Minnesota's defense really sucks the last handful of weeks. My only thing, I mean, unless Kenny Golladay is like having like a career resurgence after that, touchdown is in a Giants uniform. I know they have Saquon. As bad as the Vikings defense is, I can't see them running up and down on the Vikings. I just can't.
Yeah, but remember, they got two big pieces back defensively. The Giants. They got Xavier McKinney back, and they got Adoree Jackson back. Like, they are good. They are good defensively. That's why I think it's a close one. Like, it's a close one. I don't think they're going up and down the field, but I can see like 21-20, right? Like this could be like, this could be like that kind of like old school dogfight, even though both teams get into the 20s.
I was just gonna say, like, first team to 20 wins, like one of those type games.
They could.
I'm going Vikings though, just because they're at home. I don't expect either team to look good though. Like, I think whoever plays this team next week, the winner of this game, I think they're gonna win handily. Whether it's the Giants playing us or the Vikings playing, I guess it would be San Francisco.
Yeah, if the Giants can run the football enough, they're going to win this football game.
My pick brought to you by the letter G, which means gritty, but also for the Giants who are going to beat the Vikings on Sunday. Wow. So give me the Giants.
G-Man too. I've been trying to talk this into existence ever since it came out. Justin Jefferson's been a different guy the last 3 or 4 weeks. He hasn't been his normal self. He
might banged up that one time, right? Yeah. Like, wasn't that like 3 weeks ago too, Greg?
Yeah. And then like last game, I know it's the Packers, and I know it's a real emotional game, but as soon as Jair Alexander grittied right on his face, I knew Justin Jefferson was done for the day. I don't know if there's more behind the scenes over there, but give me the G-Men. Like I said, I've been trying to talk this into existence, so let's go. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, I don't think this is a crazy talk into existence thing, by the way. Like,
no, it's not like the biggest upset. I'm just trying to make it happen.
No, like, I know it's like, seating wise, it's like an upset, right? And whatever, but like, I don't even know if this is an upset because because like, it was anybody but the Giants the Vikings are playing, I would call it an upset, if that makes sense. Like in Minnesota, but they're both their styles of play, even though they're different, right? They literally win games by the same margin. Like they have like Frank said earlier, they have a minus differential.
Yep.
Like that doesn't happen, come postseason time. You got two teams, they're like spitting images, but they're completely different styles. Yeah. But the Giants' one style, I think, hurts Minnesota. That's like the only reason I think they have a shot to win and why I'm picking them. And I think their blitzes, if their blitzes get home, and he's so good at like disguising. Like he's really a really good defensive coordinator. He's so good. Yeah, because he's a Rexer. Yeah. Right? He's from that old school, I think, right? Isn't he like a Rex disciple? So that
he was all over Baltimore during their heyday.
Yeah, okay. So he's blitz early, pressure early, hits early, and that all equals what?
You're talking about the Giants coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Wink Martindale.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm saying he's a Rex disciple.
Yep.
He's a heavy blitz guy. Smack the quarterback as much as you can.
Oh yeah,
And
he's
then-
no Gannon. He's no Gannon.
No, they want to create pressure to create turnovers. That's what they want to do. You know what I mean? It's a different style. I love that style though.
Love to have him. If he ever wants to come to Philly, I'll take him.
Oh my God, I would take Wink in a heartbeat. I mean, look what he's done, and he's done it with like guys being out, like no McKinney, no Adoree Jackson for a while.
Well,
Like,
when they were
you know?
playing well, really in the beginning of the year, when they were healthy, right, and they were causing problems on defense, and then when they started to struggle, is Tommy, to your point, is they lost those guys, right? You lost Jackson, you lost McKinney, and you lost Leonard Williams. And I know when we played him first, Leonard Williams wasn't there, and I think Leonard Williams is, I don't know, he's at least a Pro Bowler, if not an All Pro. So,
Oh yeah, I mean Leonard
Pro
Williams.
Bowler,
is-
Eagles, that's for damn sure.
huh?
Yeah.
Pro Bowler whenever he plays the Eagles. That's for
Yeah,
damn sure.
because he's good.
Well, it shows you what damn good coordinators and damn good coaches can do. They can bring more out of guys. You know, I think Dave Gettleman didn't leave the cupboard as bare as people thought he did when he was fired. I believe, you know, Andrew Thomas was a Gettleman pick.
Yeah.
So, you know, guy's an All-Pro. So, like, you know, missed on a lot, but like it was time to go, but it wasn't dire straits that he left. Like most Giants fans felt like they were left in dire straits. When you really look across the board, like David McKinney was a damn good pick. The other guy, the defensive lineman, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we talked about that on draft night. That pick was a home run. They should have just swapped the two picks. Dexter should have got taken it before Daniel. So, I mean, in reality, they haven't drafted terribly. You know, and, you know, their most, you know, Cardavius Toney, obviously, in New York was a bust, but he really isn't. If you just sprinkle him in, he's a playmaker. So,
Yeah,
if you thought he was he wasn't a number one wide receiver.
no, it was a panic pick after we took DeVonta from him.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
Yep.
And that was Gettleman, right? Was that Sam Dave? That was Gettleman,
That was-
still, right?
Yeah, that was Gettleman.
Yeah, and like we've talked about, I think that they have one of, if not the best, overall coaching staff in the league. Honestly, when you look at Wink, you obviously look at Dable and then Kafka running their offense. Yeah, you know how much I've still listen. If Kafka now, I don't think it can happen because it would be him leaving there to take the same job here. But I wanted him to be offensive coordinator here ever since Doug got hired. So when you look at those three, and obviously you have key positions that
Do we know who's offense? Do we know that you know Kafka calls all the plays?
I know he has
Or-
more of an impact in it than previous offensive coordinators did with the Giants regime. I just know Dable was more hands-on with the quarterback, but the overall offense and play calling, I know that's a majority Kafka.
Yeah, see, I thought it always looked like to me like Dable was calling offensive plays this year. Maybe he wasn't. Either way, I mean, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't mean a guy we saw with Doug doesn't mean a guy doesn't know what he's doing.
True.
Unless you think like Greg thinks, then
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
scary thought.
he's
Ravens. Is it Malcolm Brown or am I butchering his name?
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown. Okay.
Could you guys pause this for a couple minutes so I can
Yes.
literally pay? Like, I don't know if I've ever had to pay more than I do right now. Maybe talk some Eagles, talk to the family, you know, whatever people want to talk about. Talk about Jalen's shoulder. There's so many things to talk about. But
I don't know what to do with my hands. There's so
but
many.
Ravens, I'll give you Raven. If you guys want to finish this one, I'll give you Ravens Bengals. I don't know who's playing quarterback. It's in Cincy, obviously, right? Or is it in Baltimore?
Most
in
likely not.
Cincinnati.
Lamar. It's in Cincy.
It's in Cincy. Okay. I don't know. I think this is a close game that Cincy wins, but Baltimore's defense has been so good, and they just played, right? Like they just played, like you're right, and Cincy sort of had their way a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So I think that like evens out where, like they get more stops, more opportunities. I don't know how Baltimore scores, so Baltimore has to win a game like, and they have the defense to do it. They got to win a game like 20-17. They're not going to do that though. When we talk about the quarterback position, and the Bengals are arguably the hottest team in football because they got over their hangover real quick, right?
Yeah.
Their hangover was 0-2. That's enough of that. Unlike what Tom thought, and here we are, right? Here we are. And it's how you can be so right in sports talk and so wrong on sports talk in the
I
same conversation.
I wonder who made the pick that the Bengals would win the North this year.
Yeah, well, I don't know who made the pick.
Half
The
the
Jacksonville
country?
Jaguars. The Jacksonville
No, on the
Jaguars.
show.
The Jacksonville Jaguars pick, I think, is a little higher up than somebody taking the Bengals.
But
If I may say
an
it, I
expense
said.
trip to go to Ohio to get some chili.
Greg, do you forget, Greg? Do you forget?
Oh,
The Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win that division. Here we are. That being said, I could have been more wrong on the Bengals. So this is how this game goes, right? Like, you can be like, oh, look at me, jerk off about the Jaguars pick. But then you're completely wrong about where the Bengals are. And that shows you how good Joe Burrow is. So
I think Frank brought that up because he has a bet. Didn't you have a bet, Frank?
There was a bet.
with who? Me?
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember the fucking weirdest shit.
Here was the sign had this is what I put on the beginning of the show. And it's
So you get a trip to Ohio?
to Cincinnati. Bring me to Cincinnati, give me my chili.
I honestly didn't remember until Frank just said it 30 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll square up on whatever the bet was. I wish I had a bet with somebody with the Jaguars. You know what I mean? I could throw back in somebody's face. I don't have that bet. I mean, maybe I do. You know what I mean? A lot of things are said on there. A lot of bets. But no, I mean, they've been awesome, the Bengals. It's crazy. It's crazy how good they've been. Now, we talked about the Collins loss for him on the offensive line. That's already not that good. You know, Baltimore does put pressure on. So, you know, like this, listen, we know how this goes, guys. You know, you take a pick six to the house, you do something big in a football game like this, it all changes. But Bengals can't lose out this football game.
No, they'll win like 26. They'll win like 26-13. The line is
got to be double digits. Right?
8.5 favorite.
Wow, a low line. That just shows you how much they think about the Ravens defense.
The Ravens defense, yeah.
Or they still think that there's a chance that Lamar might play.
Oh, maybe. But
There
then they
is a
would just
chance.
really. But they could always just. But I know they got to stay in the middle of the two lines, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't. If they move it late, that's great. But then all the other early money that came in, they get fucked with. So yeah, so it could be like in a middle thing. But usually they know so well that a guy's not playing.
Yeah.
I think this 8.5 just means, hey, they just played each other. They know each other. Now they got to play each other again. Ravens defense is really good.
Well,
maybe
with
they win.
With what you said with Collins too, because they made two key additions on the offensive line this offseason. I forget the name of the other one.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell me. I'll listen when I'm going pay.
He's also hurt, like both of their key additions. So I'm sure somebody in the chat will bring it up. So both guys that they got in the offseason to improve their offensive line, they're both hurt. So they're pretty much running with the same, if not worse, offensive line that they did last year. Now, I get it. They went to the Super Bowl last year, and they were a bad play call away from winning the damn thing. But, you know, I guess maybe that plays a little bit into concern, at least with Vegas's, line there. Where did both of you guys go with this pick?
Bengals, I'm with the Bengals. I'm going to Bengals.
Cincinnati, Cincinnati. Give me the Bengals.
Frank, you're gonna make me get sick again. Then I'm gonna be out for another month. Question to you guys: when you look at, I guess it would be 4 potential opponents for the Eagles next week, and fam, chime in in the chat also. Rank them. So you have obviously the Giants, you have the Bucs, you have Seattle, and you have Dallas. Rank them as far as who you most want to play to who you least want to play if you're an Eagles fan. 1 through 4. Of the Seattle Seahawks, New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you're most rooting for?
I mean, who we want to play or who's realistic? Oh, who we want to play.
Who you want to play, yes. Of the 4 teams that you
Seattle.
can play.
Yeah.
I'll go Seattle, New York, Dallas, Tampa.
Yeah.
Really? So you'd rather play Dallas than Tampa?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I have Dallas 4. I would go Seattle 1.
Yeah, I'll switch it for me.
you don't have to switch it. It's your opinion.
I know.
So like I'm with Jesse. Seattle 1, Giants 2, Bucks 3, Cowboys 4. Sand goes Giants 1, Seahawks 2, Cowboys 3, Bucks 4. So he agrees with you guys. Kayvon says Seattle, Giants, Bucks, Cowboys. Bill, hello, Bill. He says
Bill.
Bengals beat KC this year already, and we're on their way to winning that game against the Bills before Hamlin got hurt. Wasn't that game in the first quarter, though, Bill?
Yeah, it was super early, but they were winning. It was 7-3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rod, the reason I have Dallas before Tampa, and again, it's just Tom Brady in the playoffs, right? I don't think we have any issues with Tampa. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to see Tom. Tom in the playoffs just scares me.
And I think they're getting. I think their O-line's finally getting healthy.
And it is getting a bit healthy. I don't think they're going to be fully healthy because I think their center's out for the year.
Yeah. And I think they're one of their other key pieces. But I feel like they're getting a guard back. I feel like I heard that.
Yeah.
Joseph, the Giants 3, huh?
Hold on, let me go back to Joseph. Sorry. Tampa 2, Giants. I guess because of the Dable factor, Joseph, and also division. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Joseph, but I guess that's what it would be.
40 boy, by the way, if you didn't see my comment, check the member page, 40 boy. And if you're a member, check the member page. You may have won a prize over the holiday season.
And there might be some old people involved and might take your prize.
Talking about swingers and stuff.
Swingers. First there's Martha, there's Fred and Ethel.
Yeah, now they'll really check the member page now. Bill says Giants, Seattle, Tampa, Dallas. So he has Giants as his most favorable. Elliott going Seattle, Bucks, Giants. So he's on the same page as Joseph. JD going Giants, Seahawks, Cowboys, Bucks. 40 boy saying when Dallas gets hot, they're hot. Yep, unless they're playing the Commanders like last week, and then they're not.
Yeah, Dallas doesn't worry me.
Did you hear
what they are? I know what they are.
Did you hear Jerry Jones? I think it was this morning. He was like, our quarterback, Dak Prescott, he doesn't have it in his DNA to turn the football over. And it's like, Jerry, he's leading the league in interceptions.
Yeah. And he missed 4 games?
Yeah, he did it in like 12 games. Jerry.
He set like a record?
Games. Yeah, like he's the first quarterback ever to like miss that many games and still be a leader in that statistic. Jerry.
But he's elite. He's elite.
It's not in his DNA though, according to Jerry. Okay. Wayne says it would be sweet revenge for Jalen to take out Tom Brady. Maybe his last game. It's his last game as a Buccaneer.
Yeah, it won't be.
Then he's going to go to Vegas, and then he's going to
going to Vegas.
He's
going to San Fran. He's going somewhere.
He's going to Vegas. He's going to Vegas. And one of these weeks when like it's all said and done, I literally did this because I haven't left my house in 2 weeks, that I literally wrote down who I think every starting quarterback is going to be for next year. And when I tell you it's going to be a mess this offseason, it's going to be a mess because like the entire NFC South, I'm just like, I have no idea. Like there's no quarterbacks left. Like I don't know who's playing. And I'm including draft picks. I'm including it all. It's like I've got like Brady as a Raider. Like I've got like CJ Stroud somewhere, the Texans somewhere, Garoppolo somewhere. I've even got Carson Wentz on a team. And then there's like
who's in Miami?
Tua. I think they were going to get Tua with a premium backup quarterback. Maybe Minshew if he's not on a team. Mm-hmm. I would get Jacoby, but Jacoby might get a starting job.
Jacoby should have starting jobs.
Yeah, Jacoby was. The Browns were better with Jacoby than.
Where do you have A-Rod?
Packers.
Ooh.
I spent all last year thinking that here. I'll just read it. I don't care because I'll probably change it by the time we get to it.
I think A-Rod to Miami.
A-Rod to Miami. So Jordan Love in
or I mean you could go A-Rod to a lot of places, right? I think Miami. I think the Jets, San Fran.
So I've got Eagles, Jalen Hurts, obviously. Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Giants, Daniel Jones. Commanders, ? I haven't decided for them yet.
Yeah.
Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Bears, Justin Fields. Lions, Jared Goff. There you go, Don. You're still with Goff. Buccaneers. I've got Derek Carr. Panthers, no idea. Falcons, I'm going Desmond Ridder. I think he sucks, but I think that they're going to give it another chance with that guy.
When you draft him that high, you gotta.
Yeah. Saints, who the hell? I have no idea. Maybe Bridgewater again, because I know he went like 5-0 a couple of seasons ago when Breeze was hurt. 49ers, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. Trey Lance because of the draft pick, Brock Purdy because of the success and familiarity in the system. Seahawks, Geno Smith. Rams, Stafford / Baker Mayfield. Cardinals, Kyler Murray / Carson Wentz.
Wow, I think that division is really interesting because the Rams you have the Stafford versus / Mayfield. I think there's a really good scenario. Matt Stafford retires.
Let's see. Bills, Josh Allen. Dolphins, Tua / and I literally have expensive backup. Yeah, Jets, Jimmy Garoppolo. Retires. Tua?
Yeah.
Could be. I almost be the best thing for him, to be honest.
I mean, 3 concussions in a year. Two are the only ones that were talked about, but let's be real, he had a third.
Yeah, and it's not like he's been healthy with the knees and the shoulders and the feet.
Yeah.
On the hip going into the
Jimmy G, the Jets.
Yeah, I've had that for 2 years. I've been saying Jimmy G to the Jets. Patriots, I literally have written down any human but Mac Jones. I don't know who that is.
Is it Bailey Zappi?
No, he sucks.
Why don't you think Mac Jones is gone?
Because I think he sucks. I think he's terrible, and I think Robert Kraft's going to be like, fire Matt Patricia. Joe Judge is a freaking abomination of a play caller. And, Mac Jones, he sucks too.
I saw this scenario today.
Okay.
Cliffy Poo goes to New England to be the offensive coordinator.
That makes sense. I think it's going to – I'll give you a name. I think it's going to be Bill O'Brien.
Going back.
Yeah.
Why would you leave Alabama, though?
Why would Cliff Kingsbury go anywhere? Why would he work again? He's going to be paid until 2026.
Well, yeah, just because I think he wants to prove that he can coach.
Sure. I would take a year off and be like, I'll be a head coach.
I think he goes back to college, Cliffy Poo.
He could.
He's probably going to go to like some SEC school, give a wink and then please all the boosters. And
sadly, though, there's no openings right now.
And then the AFC North, I have the exact same: Burrow, Jackson, Pickett, Watson. The South, I've got Lawrence at the Jags, obviously. The Colts, I've got with Stroud. Texans, Bryce Young. Titans, I don't think it's going to be Tannehill. I think Tannehill could end up on – that could be the Patriots, could be the Panthers, could be the Saints. And I'm not saying Malik Willis.
Reunion in Miami?
Yeah. Hey, that makes sense, but I could also completely shoehorn this and say he goes to Atlanta to reunite with Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith, when he was OC in Tennessee, that was Tannehill's best season of his career.
So you saying Josh Dobbs then, if no Malik?
No, it's going to be somebody like they're going to get somebody from another team. Are you
thinking like a Minshew, Brissett type of guy?
I want to say that they would go splashy because they have too damn good of a coach and they have too many good pieces on the defense to literally just run with a journeyman. But I'm running out of people here.
There's no one left.
See my dilemma? There's no
one left.
Is Cam Newton coming back? No, and that's
and I'm probably with you still with no Malik, but I don't know. I think maybe after an off season, after getting your head kicked in for a couple games and then watching somebody not much better than you and Josh Dobbs play better than you, and then a whole off season, you know what I mean?
I could see that being a Jacoby thing. Like you bring in Jacoby, but you're also going to give Malik a shot in training camp.
Yeah.
But then they'll realize, oh, wait, this is the guy who didn't complete a pass to a receiver in 2 straight games.
Yeah, I mean, he I just think he got messed up with the speed. You can't replicate the speed.
JD, I have him going to the Cardinals to play for Kyler while Kyler's out.
The interesting one though is the 49ers. And I know, 49ers have been heavy talk, but you're right. What do you do next year? Right? If Brock Purdy takes you at minimum to an NFC championship game, You can't legit sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to sit him next year."
No,
but you did make a lot of moves to take Trey Lance at 3.
So Frank said the same thing to me the other day.
So you have a very interesting dilemma on your hands. And I'm not a Trey Lance guy. I think Trey Lance stinks.
Yep.
But you did waste the number 3 overall pick on him.
You have to. Yep. You have
to figure it out. But he's going on 3 years of not playing football.
Yeah. I think that Frank said the same thing to me yesterday or 2 days ago. He was like, "It's going to be an absolute mess." And what was the word? I don't want to put words in your mouth, Frank. But you basically said it's going to be a mess at quarterback.
It is going to be a let me pull the archives.
I'll translate. He said mess. Some word that means mess. And I said I actually think it's going to be. Sure, we'll go catastrophe. I said I don't believe it's that going to be that exciting at all because they have to give Trey Lance a shot. They're going to bring back Brock Purdy back for a short-term deal, maybe a 1-year deal, because of success and familiarity with the system. They're going to start it with Trey Lance, unless they win the freaking Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. Then Trey Lance is your backup.
They didn't sign Purdy. This is only Purdy's first year. It's not like they signed no 1-year
Oh, that's
deal.
right. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm thinking they have to re-sign him. So even better. So he's there. He's there contractually, and so you.
I mean, they may give him to your point though. They may restructure and give him a bonus because he might be a borderline starter.
Even though it's a Mr. Irrelevant 7th round pick, I don't even think they would need to restructure.
No, you're right.
He's making what, $500,000, base salary or something like that. And I just think they have an extremely short leash with Trey. Oh, you suck or you get hurt again? All right, no biggie because we have this guy, and he's basically a cheaper Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Gets the ball out quick and you can use his weapons. Don. All right, Ryan, where does the great Joe Flacco go? I don't know. Audubon? I don't know. Probably the Jets is, I guess, because he's like their career backup now. And then the Chiefs, I've got Mahomes obviously.
Purdy signed a 4-year, $3.7 million contract.
Purdy?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. He's in the millions. Chargers, same guy. Broncos,
yeah,
same guy.
705 this year, 870 next year.
Jesse, the Lions. The Lions. I don't think they're going to draft a kid.
No.
No, because the Lions, they wouldn't be. Even though they have 2 picks, there's no one after C.J. Stroud in the first round worth taking.
Yeah,
not a Levis guy. Not a Levis guy.
There's no one after C.J. Stroud worth taking in the first round.
Yeah, nothing.
Anthony Richardson guy.
I can't wait for the Jets to take him, and I can't wait for the Raiders to take Will Levis.
Like, I'm not a fan of the quarterback class after.
Now, is there a way they sign Brady and take Will Levis? The Raiders.
Yes,
they would. I kind of want that because that way it fails both ways. Kenneth, you have a draft question for us.
Oh, ask us.
Bill, you're right. Yeah, no, I mean, he's going to be a free agent. They won't have to call about him. He's just going to sign there. And I'm sure there's a ton of places that he would either go as an extremely expensive backup.
Free agent? I was hoping he was still under contract and we can get a legit 3, maybe conditional 2 out of Gardner Minshew.
He might be restricted. I thought he was unrestricted. I could be wrong though.
Well, let's see. I'm already on Spo Track. Let's go take a look.
There you go, Greg. Jordan, we're gonna have like 4 months of that, Jordan. I have no idea. I know we're projected to get the Georgia cornerback.
Yeah, Keely Ringo, but
yeah,
I know his stock might take a hit.
Greg says,
"Where's what I'm hearing?
Where's Marcus Mariota going? Backup quarterback. He might be ours, to be honest.
He is a free agent, to your point.
Yeah.
Unrestricted?
Unrestricted.
Yeah, so he will have 12 teams trying to get him. Is either a starter or a backup.
Yeah, at 10, it starts to bring in the draftable cornerbacks, safeties when you get there at 10, whether it's Ringo, whether it's Joey Porter from Penn State. You know what I mean? Wherever, I think there's a kid from Clemson there.
Yes.
As well.
I think with the D-line
Smith
or
Smith.
No. I thought you were talking about Breezy.
Breezy. I mean,
I would like
area.
Breezy, but I don't know if he's going to stick around.
Oh, South Carolina, Cam Smith. They're all in that. Once you get to the 10s, it all brings those guys into play. The top half of the draft is very D-line heavy
Exactly.
with your edge rushers and your middle guys.
Joseph, that would not surprise me in the least.
I'll do
Not
it.
in the least.
You're going to need somebody. We know this. Every team in the NFL needs somebody for 18 games. You know, even though there's guys that have played all 18, you need that second. You need that second quarterback.
Ted says, hypothetical question: would you give the Saints pick back?
Yes.
To guarantee we get Bedard on the Flyers.
Yes. Although we'd probably screw Bedard up, but yes.
No, yeah, they would screw Bedard up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love the Flyers. I miss the days where like I actually look forward to a Flyers game. I really do.
I bet them tonight.
You poor soul.
Bang bang. No, they won.
No, not that they won. It's just you poor soul betting on a Flyers game.
I just took a chance. I saw it on there. I was like, they're plus money. They're playing good. Let's go.
My retort to that, Ted, is kind of what both of these guys said. What gives me the right to assume that they're going to get it right with Bedard?
They're not going to get it right. And even if Bedard is right there on our plate, we're probably going to take some like out of left field pick. And
this is who's the hometown kid that wanted to sign here this offseason?
Johnny Gaudreau.
Or the offseason that literally looked at the guy and said, "Hey, you're exactly what we've been needing. Oh, you want to come here? Nah, we're good.
Nah, we're good."
Now you guys want Flyers, huh?
Well, I didn't hate that, but yes.
Ted said, hypothetically,
question.
Give the Saints pick back to guarantee that we got Bedard. And I said, what gives me the right to assume that the Bedard pick won't end up being a disaster because it's the Flyers?
Oh, but yes, I would give that pick back. Yes.
Just live with the consequences.
Wait till we give the pick back and then we screw up with Bedard.
And not that I care at this point of the year, right? But where is that pick? Where does that pick land?
10
on the money, huh?
10 on the money.
All right. Well, I think it's not sexy, but that's probably a right tackle, I would guess.
It would have been probably 6, 7, 8 if we would have beat them.
Yeah.
Probably still get a good tackle there, though.
Yeah, I mean, Skoronski's up there, Parrish Johnson up.
Yeah. God bless you.
Yeah. God bless you. He's right.
Yeah. I'm looking at Tankathon, and I'm looking at the.
That's where I'm at, Frank. Yep.
Look at you guys.
Skoronski, Parrish Johnson, but it's
Joey Porter. Great name. I mean, great name.
Early.
I don't know enough about Joey Porter, but great name. Is that Joey Porter Jr.?
Yep. Son, yeah.
Really? Yeah. He plays tackle.
No, cornerback.
Like corner.
Corner.
Yeah, that's not their making. No, that's not who they are. But love it. I would cut Slay, bring Badberry back, and sign a corner.
Tom, while you were gone, we kind of revealed to the masses. We were going through like who the quarterbacks are going to be of each team. You might get some calls because we ran out of people. There's like 7. Like we literally went into the draft and we're like, oh, Levis is on a team, and there's still like 6 guys. Yeah. I'm sorry, there's still 6 openings where there's just like, we might need to be asking like Phillip Rivers to come out of retirement. Like there's not enough people.
Well, quarterbacks like in the draft?
No, just so like for example, like Eagles, Hurts, Cowboys, Prescott, Giants, Daniel Jones, Commanders, no freaking idea who their quarterback is.
Wait, so there's 7 teams that need one, you're saying? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, like pretty after we filled in the blanks, like there's teams that it's like I have no idea who's going to be their quarterback.
Well, how many legitimate quarterbacks are in the draft? Like that are day 1 caliber starters?
2.
Probably 3.
Guys are projects.
Probably 3 though, depending on the spot.
So Levis, I guess, would be that third. Richardson.
It would be Levis. Yeah, Levis.
I mean, Levis can rip it. I just think he needs to get coached up better.
Yeah.
I mean, ripping it ain't the problem. So it's almost like, I don't want to say Josh Allen, but he's got bazooka.
Mm-hmm.
He's got bazooka. And if he can get coached up right in the right spot, he could, I don't want to say day 1.
No, he's not a day 1 guy. I mean,
but that's where
he did drastically improve when he left Penn State to go to Kentucky.
Well, there's going to be other guys out there
in a better quarterback system.
Like Jimmy G will be out there probably. There'll be some guys that are like backups per se that could be out there, like Kyle. Wilson from the Jets. Depending on what they want to do. he could be moved, right? I mean, there's probably guys that, Gardner. So
I did put Gardner on the where did I put him? I put him on the Saints, Greg. I decided to put him on the Saints because I ran out of people.
It's actually a good spot for him.
Yeah.
They got some good young position players.
Yeah.
I still don't have a quarterback for the Panthers. That's it. That's the only team I don't have for the Panthers.
Who'd you guys pick on Monday night?
We didn't get there yet.
We waited for you.
Oh, okay.
8:15, Dallas Cowboys going to Tampa. Dallas 2.5-point favorites.
Give me the Buccaneers.
I'm with you, Frank. The Buccaneers have the Cowboys numbers. Yeah. I know they weren't pretty down the stretch, but they have something on Dallas that they do really well. So I'm going Dallas.
And you're dealing with playoff Brady, so
I think we're seeing Dallas next weekend. So Dallas.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, who is Dallas, right? Who are they? I don't know if they know who they are. I don't know if we know who they are. So they're weird. Like if they're clicking on all cylinders, I think they're really good. I know the Bucs are getting some things back that are important to them, especially defensively. I agree they've had their number. That doesn't always, sometimes that will end at some point, right? Like I don't know if I can sit here and ever take the Dallas Cowboys, no matter what, just like anti-Cowboy. But I'll always give them credit when they're good, But I don't know how good they are. So that's why, and I'm not saying the Bucs are good, but it's in Tampa. Bucs have beaten them a bunch of times. Bucs do have a really good defense. It is a toss-up, Greg. Total toss-up. Dak's been turning the football over a lot recently.
Miller.
So I think, well, both Gregs. It is a toss-up. But no, I think
Don.
I think the Bucs make enough big plays in this football game. I don't even know if Jerry Jones wants Mike McCarthy as his coach. I just think there's so much going on down there. There's always so much going on. So we'll see. We'll see this way he play. I have no fucking clue about this game though. No clue. So I guess I'm taking the Bucs.
It is an interesting one. So Tommy, we did this too. Of the four teams that we could see, Seattle, Giants, Tampa, or Dallas, rank them in order of who you'd want to see.
Well, Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas.
So you're with me. So the screen split.
Frank
and I had to flip the last two flipped.
I really need Tampa to win this football game. I do not want to see Dallas. That just brings me too much stress in my life. I have enough.
Yeah.
The best case scenario, you go Dallas 49ers. Dallas 49ers and then probably Bills or Chiefs.
Guess what? You earned it then.
Yeah.
That's
for damn sure.
No easy schedule now.
Yeah, nobody's got that on you. No matter who comes in, it's a tough task, obviously. But Tampa again doesn't worry me as much. I know that Brady coming in is always a little nerve-wracking for sure, but I think we can get after him better. But the whole Dallas coming in just makes me nervous.
Yep.
Makes me a little nervous, but I do still think we beat them. You know what I mean?
Martian. So
it's the lowest seed available.
If Seattle wins, we play Seattle. If the Giants win, we play the Giants. If neither of them win, we play the winner of Bucs Cowboys.
Lowest remaining seed comes here.
And I do think you got a really good chance of playing the Giants. You always have a chance of playing Seattle because you never know how the third divisional game goes. Mm-hmm. Even though the Niners should whoop their ass. You just don't know, right? We don't know. So, I think there's a chance you play one of them. I think there's a good chance. Like I said, I don't want Dallas because of the stress, and I sure as hell don't want to be eliminated from the playoffs in our first round and have to sit through a whole offseason knowing I lost to the Dallas Cowboys. That's a lot to ask for, boys. That's a lot for a fan base and an organization to rebound from. I just want to be honest with you. That's a lot to rebound from. You at home versus Dallas, you're the number 1 seed. They come here and beat you, and you're one and done because of who you lost to. That's a long fucking offseason. Long one. Go ahead and hire Gannon and hire Steichen. Go hire Nick if you want to. I mean, while you're at it, hire Nick too.
The quickest way to completely eliminate a 14-win season. It's very quick to be like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, any other team it's a long off season, right? Because it always is, right? But the Dallas makes it really long.
Oh yeah, it's a failure of a season, no matter if you lose to the Seahawks, the Giants, or the Bucs.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But if you lose to Dallas going one and done, it is a disaster.
Honestly, you can't go. I'll be honest with you guys. If you go one and done, it's to me it's epic failure, because these kind of teams put together these kind of opportunities, they don't grow on trees. Okay, and when you have one, you better win a playoff game. And our expectation for this season, before it even started. So this isn't raising the bar on expectations, but everybody out there, our one expectation was win a playoff game. That was our expectation prior to the year. So now we fast forward and we see how good we are. Our expectations probably has changed to where we talk about, hey, Super Bowl or bust, right? You got to start with the one. You got to win the first one, and then we can dissect if it's a bust of the season or not. But you can't go one and done, because there is no question if it's a failure or not. You win a game and lose the next one, we can have that conversation when we get there, right? But I personally think, and I want your guys' opinion, now, because expectations have changed. So if your expectation was like me, we got to win a playoff game this year before the season started, right? And now you see how good we played. Well, my expectation is you better win two. Better win two, because look how good you guys are. You're not going to have the same team next year. Things change. Guys get hurt. Guys move on. You sign different guys, right? Things change in locker rooms. So when you had an opportunity where you're the best team in the NFC and you were all year, you got to capitalize on that. And that's not always winning the Super Bowl, but you better be conference champions, because you were all year.
Yeah, if my expectations, which they were before the year, was to improve by one game over last year, which is, not just getting the playoffs, but winning one, like you said. Yeah. Well, now you add, okay, before the year I had them winning 11. They end up winning 14, number 1 seed. You get a bye. So I'm not going to go to, okay, that means you have to win a Super Bowl. Would be nice. But that means, okay, instead of the floor being you getting to an NFC title game, which would happen already if you win one playoff game, now you better get to a Super Bowl. And while you're there, you might as well win the damn thing. But as far as like, hey, to keep it from being a failure or disappointing season, now you just better get there.
Yeah, and I think always getting there, at the end of it feels like a failure, right? But I always, getting there alone to me has always been like house
just
money.
Like the Phillies, right? Just like the Phillies, right?
House
like,
money.
We weren't thrilled that they lost, but when you take a step back, you're like, all right, this is a really damn good year.
No, I'll sign up for that every year. Would you not sign up for that every year?
For sure.
I would sign up for an NFC title game celebration, right? And then okay, we can talk about a Super Bowl for 2 weeks. We get there, it didn't go our way. No, I'm not signing up for that. I don't want that to happen every year. Mix, sprinkle one in every once in a while.
Yeah,
but
good year, bad year.
I'll take 5 years of getting there and then win one every time.
Sure.
Like you get Super Bowl for 4 straight years and then win on the 5th every time. I'll sign up for that. I'll take that heartbreak, right? But listen, their expectation has changed. So
if you come out of this year not winning the playoff game, it's worse than Sixers Atlanta, and it's pretty damn bad if we're talking that territory.
Good.
Well, you have big time question marks depending on how you lose, right?
Yeah, we're going into a season where an off season when you're talking about extending a damn quarterback, and I'm not saying like crystal ball, it's on him, but something freaking went wrong in all aspects if you're not winning the playoff game.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's funny too, like when you talk about normally, hey, let's win a playoff game. Probably most of us before the year had us playing this weekend, right? So two wins gets you to the NFC Championship game. Well, now to your point, Tommy, the year changes. Now 2 wins get you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's almost like you almost feel bad putting that like expectation on them, but that's what we've watched all year. So you don't feel bad because they've done this all year, right? You were the best team in the NFL or at least the NFC for 90% of the year, 95% of the year. So yeah, winning 2 playoff games or winning 1 at minimum, winning that second one, yeah, it's going to put you in the Super Bowl because of the year you had. So you better go out there and do that.
Yeah, I mean, look at what the records you've set and how you played as a football team, not only in the records, but in the win-loss records, right? So
Sure.
When you factor both of them in, like I had them at 12 wins, right? So it's not like I was like crazy far off, but I don't know if I had them as the number 1 seed in the conference. Like I don't remember that show. You know what I mean? I don't know where I had them, but at minimum it was win 1 playoff game.
Yeah.
Show me that growth. Now we watch the guy play, not just him, but we watch the team and a guy play way above not way above expectations, but above expectations, right? Above expectations for sure when you're a 1 seed. Okay, but now how do I leave losing an NFC title game like that was a good year at this point, right? I don't know if I can, but winning 1 is a must. I mean, if you lose the first round, it's epic failure. Epic failure.
Joseph, he says, what are the chances Hurts going the Tom Brady route and accepting a $12 million less than what he's worth so the team could be better on the field around 0?
Well, can Michael Rubin hook him up? You know what I mean? Like he did Harden.
The Tom Brady Patriots thing is the biggest, I don't want to say Ponzi scheme, but it's the biggest backdoor cover of a contract ever. The TB12 method is how he was getting paid the entire time. So
plus at the time, Giselle was making more than him anyway.
Well,
yeah, but if you guys factor this into it, when you're big time, your endorsements for the most part, like a lot of guys like live off their endorsements and save their contracts, right? So, if you look at it like that, right, he ain't gonna be hurting for money. No. If you're the franchise guy, it doesn't mean he's gonna take a discount. But like the Harden route, Michael Rubin swoops in, I'll give you a little fanatic, right? So, there's ways guys will accept it. I mean, when you're talking about the kind of money he's going to get paid anyway, okay, he might take 10 less than market value because he wants to win for sure. I mean, listen, it all depends on the guy. I'll be honest with you. I know people say, well, your agent this, your agent that. You can tell your agent to kiss your ass, right? You ain't going out there every Sunday. So, like I'm trying to win. I need guys around me too. It's a team sport. And I think if anybody knows that, it's Jalen. So, how much less? I don't know. I don't know what the value is, but you hope by that, like I said, you can live off your endorsements, and there's enough endorsements for him to say, okay, I'm making $5-8 million a year off endorsements, and that's plenty to live off if I can save my contract. So it all depends on the player. I don't know. He did get a little smug the other day. I don't really like that. Don't start fucking getting smug. I feel like he was smug to the reporters a little bit. A little smug the other day. I know what you guys want to tell me. What you want me to say. I know what you want me to say. He kept saying that. Like, I know that's what you want me to say. Like, I'm hurting. I know that's what you want me to say. Like, why do you keep saying that? We didn't tackle you. You know what I mean? Like, why is it like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hear it.
Yeah, it just was weird. I heard it, and I usually don't listen to it, but I heard it I feel like I heard it on the radio or something. Right? And I was just like, why are you snappy? Like, relax. We love you. Calm down. You know what I mean? Over here, like we created an injury. Like, we didn't create the injury. Your head coach told me you're Superman. So, we don't want you to say anything. Oh well. Better come out and play well.
Definitely. I did look up a grade 2 shoulder spleen, and you know how it is with me and Google. But the consensus is 2 to 4 weeks for a grade 2. So 2 to 4 weeks is the consensus recovery time.
Yep.
Yep.
He does get 4 weeks if you really look at it.
Yeah.
But it was so imperative for him to play on Sunday because he just needed the speed reps, no matter how he played. It's just you can't sit 5 weeks. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about that, right? Because you weren't on, but last Wednesday. But I was really pounding the table that he needs to just be out there because 5 weeks is too long for a quarterback.
No, and he. Again, I'm under the full understanding and belief that they ran a completely vanilla offense, so it was never going to cater his strengths. But he missed a ton of throws, right? Like throws behind DeVonta that he had to come up and make. And I'm not saying he was bad, but it was just okay, this is a guy who hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah, timing's off.
Yes.
Yeah, just it's natural.
And then miraculously, and then he made a couple of really good throws.
Yep.
And that's just, that's the athlete in him, right? You know what I mean? You're able to make a couple good throws, but your timing's off and you made a couple putrid throws too.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Anyone who went into that game last week saying it was a mistake to play him, going into a game after a quarterback hasn't played for 5 weeks, I don't want to see that. I hate the bye week. I said that to you guys about baseball. When we had to wait a week before the World Series. And I get it. It could end up helping us a lot because of how injured we are. And we could, Lane could use another week or all that stuff. I hate the fact that they have a week off. Now, it might help us because it's not like momentum was really on our side anyway. It was kind of just okay, survive, get in, and then breathe for a second. But I hate that freaking bye. So you mean to tell me that we wanted 5 times that with Jalen Hurts? No, I'm good. Throw him out.
Yeah, the only reason I like the bye is I like no stress for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And at this point in the year, I think it's usually helpful for teams. It's because you're now playing extra game, and now these teams are playing 2 extra games. So whoever you're seeing is really deep into a year, and you allow guys to get their body right for a week before they come back to practice. You know what I mean? I think that's impactful. That ends up showing. Now, listen, when you talk about these types of games, they get early, right? Early. Because if the team comes into your building and they come smack in the mouth early, right then you weren't really ready to play. But as long as you don't let a team come in and get up 10-0 on you, and you can withstand maybe the early struggles. Right? Your teams are usually fine. It's the teams that come out and they get smacked really quick early. Next thing you know, you're down 10-0, and now you're playing catch up all day, and now you feel like you're the under. You know what I mean? You feel like you're the underdog in your own play. That's where it gets bad.
It's kind of like the Saints and the Commanders game, right? I mean, even though had chances to win both, you felt like the game was out of reach most of the game, even though it really wasn't.
Yeah, but no, we'll be fine. I'm excited. And obviously it's almost here. And by next week we'll be able to talk about who we're really playing, and everybody out there enjoy a great weekend of football.
Yeah,
great weekend. So you guys got anything on the way out?
No, I'm good.
I'm all good.
No, I think I'm okay.
Good I know we're. Yeah, you too.
Oh, there you go.
I know we gave out our Super Bowl picks will be coming out in social content, so everybody stay tuned for that.
Yep, I'll be giving my last call in the chat.
Last call talk. Mine was Bills, Eagles. I think Buffalo's a stone cold lock to go now.
Last night it was 49ers Chiefs. Now it's Eagles Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs is. I would take the Chiefs if it wasn't for DeMar. I'd take the Chiefs.
I am very undecided with my AFC representative, so you'll find out. No, it's just the. Really? It's down to 2 teams in the AFC. It's just I don't know but I'm heavily leaning towards Buffalo as my AFC representative. So
Yeah, I'm Eagles Buffalo.
Thank you, Greg.
I'll say this on the way out. They, Martian talking about the Sixers playing good basketball though. I don't really care who you're playing. You got to win games right now. Win games. NBA is weird, so
This is
they're winning games. Yep, they're up into the 4 seed. Joel looks good. Joel looks great. Obviously, Harden looks like getting back to the old Harden a little bit here, which is huge for us. And we're 7-3 in our last 10. Obviously, winners are 2 in a row, and we get a little West Coast action soon. I think Sunday or Monday. I know we got the Thunder tomorrow. And then we go out to Utah, and that's 9:00 Saturday. So we do have Sixers West Coast action this weekend, while the boys are off. So Sixers Jazz Saturday night 9:00, Sixers Lakers Sunday night 9:30, and then Tuesday night you have Sixers Clippers. And that's a 10:00er, and then we get into February, and then they come back home against the Magic. Oh no, sorry. They go to Portland Thursday. I don't know why that cut off. Portland Thursday, then the Kings Saturday, and then they have some time off, and they come back and play a huge game against the Brooklyn Nets. After a few days off after the West Coast trip. So we got a Westie coming, boys, which if I could play every game at 10:00, I would love it. Every game at 10:00. I almost want to like talk that into existence. Like, let's stop the 7:00 NBA starts. It's a freaking joke.
Why do you think all the teams, all the players I obsess over are all Western Conference teams? Because those are the games I watch.
Yeah, that's what
2 a.m. Sacramento Kings games.
Exactly. Like, let us be degenerates. And plus, I work until 9:30, 10:00 at night. So, come on. Let me get home, get you by the second quarter. But Sixers bench is doing good, to Joe's point. See you, Joe. Good point. And, they're just playing good. They're just playing good basketball. I know everybody still wants Doc fired, and that's fine. They're up into the 4 seed. They're making up ground. And, everybody can talk about firing a guy when the team's having a good year so far. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, it's not like Girardi, like where the team's like, oh, they're really struggling. You know what I mean? That's why I just laugh at it. Like, you talk about firing a coach. They're 7-3 in our last 10. What are we talking about? Like, I get it. If we were 3-7 in our last 10, I'll be talking about it with you, right? Everybody out there talks about it. Like, I'll be right there talking about firing them.
I think they're even bigger than that. I think they're like 13-2 in their last 15.
Yeah, they probably are. You know what I mean? I think they are. I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, Doc's done a good job.
I think he's done a good job.
I didn't call him Glenn.
No, I think he's done a good job this year through what this team's going through, right?
Yeah.
I think he's done a good job. Now, listen, it all comes at the end of the year. We'll find out. You know what I mean? We'll be able to judge by the end of the year, but I'm not going to fire him now. There's no point. Talk to me after the year. You know what I mean? I'm up for anything after years.
This team feels
right, Greg?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I can't say is because you never know with the Sixers, but this team feels like they're built for the playoffs because I keep hearing, oh, they're slow. They're slow. Yeah, damn right they're slow. But you know what that helps? Half-court offense in the playoffs. It's kind of all that is, right? Getting out and running is not the biggest thing in the playoffs.
No, I think they've done a better job of rebounding. And to be honest with you, a team that will run a second unit like they will run and they can run, that's not as slow. So either if it's Melton or Maxey coming off your bench, right? With Shake, I know Shake's like slower, but they're more young guys, right? So that second unit's a little bit faster, a little bit more up tempo type unit, but. No, I mean, listen, they're built for everything. I mean, we talk about this every year. I mean, as long as Joel Embiid's on the court, they're built to win it. Like now, maybe not win a championship, but it's hard to in the NBA. But they're built to go to a conference title game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe dabble with an NBA Finals.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say on that is like anyone who's talking about Doc Rivers getting fired right now, I'll just ask you this: if you would say before the year that we would be a top 4 seed in a stacked Eastern Conference. We're not talking about the West right now where it's just a bunch of teams outside of the Nuggets. it's a stacked Eastern Conference with the Celtics, Nets, and the Bucks, ahead of us. And I'm not even including the Cavaliers in this conversation.
KD's missing 2 weeks too.
Yeah, well, it's going to end up being like 5.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being like 5, which is par for the course for them. But if you would say
that's why I don't believe in them.
Yeah, well, I don't believe him because the other guy's still there too. And playoff Kyrie hasn't been playoff Kyrie since 2017.
Yeah, I mean the two guys I believe on the court if they're healthy is Kyrie and KD. So
sure.
I mean after that it's just like a bunch of things around them.
If you would have told me they were a top 4 seed when Harden missed a month, Maxey missed a month and a half, and Embiid missed the games, you're basically running a team with Tobias, Montrezl Harrell, and DeAnthony Melton for a good portion there, and you were playing some of your best basketball. And
Shake, Shake was one of your best players every night.
He looks like freaking SGA when he's running the team.
Well, listen, he's done a good job of getting everybody minutes too. Like he's done a good job of getting Montrez enough minutes and then giving him breathers. He's getting a good job of getting B-ball Paul some minutes for experience, right? He's done a good job of like getting those guys in and finding ways to get him minutes. And then there's some nights you might not see him and people get all up in arms. And it's like, these are backup players for a reason. And you use them per matchups. Like you're going to use Montrez in a different spot than you're going to use Paul Reed when Joel's playing. And I like that you have that luxury. I mean, why do we got to always look at it negatively? Like you have two guys that are sort of different style of basketball, right? One guy might foul a little bit too much, but he's high energy, right? He's going to get some offensive rebounds, right? He's going to, super energy guy, which are good things, right? They're never bad things. And the other guy's a pro and a physical player and a good player still. Like, remember, I got the 6th man of the year not that long ago. Like, Montrez can still play. And I think he's done a really good job getting both those guys enough minutes in the right spots. I mean, what the fuck, man? We complain about everything in this city. Like, we're up to the 4 seed right now through everything we've been with. James looks delicious, right? Embiid looks like even better than he did last year because he won't miss an elbow jumper. It's like impossible.
They finally got him a shot, a go-to shot that wasn't down low. And you know who that is? That's Doc Rivers. That's Doc Rivers in the off saying, hey, we need a go-to shot for you that doesn't involve you getting smothered down in the paint. And that's exactly what they've acquired.
They have, because they have the spacing to do it too, right? They have the spacing to allow that freedom, and nobody wants him in the glass because the second he goes down low, they're going to foul him because he's so big and he's going to the line. So teams are like, all right, we'll give you that over you going to the line and hitting 2. And he said, okay, you sure? He said, you sure? So I'll just hit it at an 85% fucking clip, and now you're going to regret doing that. So
like Timmy on the wing. They
want him. Exactly right. They're asking him, Greg, and they're begging him to take a shot that he makes 80 to 95% of the time.
Well, that was Timmy's shot too. I mean, Timmy's shot was right off the foul line there and the wing. Like Timmy would make those 2 shots in his sleep, and so does Joel. And James, like I said, James has been really good. Maxey's getting his legs back under him. Melton's been awesome. Shake's been awesome. I mean, our guard play, which we're going to need come postseason time, has been awesome. I think Shake Milton's the most underrated player in basketball. Like nobody knows Shake Milton, and he'll come and drop 14 on you in 20 minutes, and you're like, what just happened? The guy's not the fastest guy. He's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't maybe look the part, and the guy just scores. The guy is just a bucket. Like they start calling Shake a walking bucket because he just really is. And he scores by not being the most athletic guy. He gets to the rim really well. Like him and Melton, I love DeAnthony Melton too. I think DeAnthony Melton is one of those additions that help put you over the top, right? Like he's a damn good defender. Like so our wing, and again, he uses Matisse. Like Matisse, you are strictly in for defense. You're not in for anything else. And he uses these guys in their strengths. And I think we should take a step back and take away the Doc hate for a minute and say, he's doing a good job this year. Keep it up. Keep it up.
There's to what you just said. There's one move that he made about 2.5-3 weeks ago, which I think was the sneaky biggest move you could make, especially for this bench unit. And it was the simple Daniel House, bench, Matisse Thybulle rotation. That was it. Because early in the year, Daniel House was taking all of the Matisse Thybulle minutes. And Daniel House, he's a little bit more on ball, and he just doesn't know how to freaking play basketball. He'll make one good play and then make 7 bad plays on offense and defense. Matisse, listen, we've had a ton of debates on my thoughts on Matisse Thybulle. I would never be a Matisse Thybulle guy. I think Matisse Thybulle with an offensive game is somebody you actually have. It's DeAnthony Melton. DeAnthony Melton is exactly what we all hoped Matisse Thybulle would get to, because that's how good DeAnthony Melton is on defense also. But you just adding Matisse Thybulle in as a specialist and getting Daniel House off the floor, that's been tremendous, because you're bringing Daniel House in as like a 7th man. Now he's barely a factor at all.
No, yeah, it's true. It's true, and I like that because I didn't think he was playing good basketball at all. So, he's pushing all the right buttons right now. Sixers playing good basketball. So let's enjoy some Sixers over the next week and a half. Hopefully they keep playing good basketball. Great show tonight, boys. Like always, everybody enjoy your playoff football this weekend. And we'll see you Sunday night on Agree to Disagree. And remember, there's tons of live shows here. There's shows every night. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, stay with us. And J-Love, we have the Hockey Happy Hour every Tuesday here. That's been covering our NHL and Flyers talk since A2D started. So, go check the boys out. We'll help Matty with his internet, and we'll keep grinding it out. We'll grind it out as a team. I love my guy Matty. Miss him sleeping over back in the day. But yeah, so good stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. No Eaton, like we said earlier on, no Cromer, and no Ralphie. And if you're just joining us, Ralphie's grandmother passed away, and we send our thoughts and prayers to Ralphie's family. We love you, and we know we'll see him next week because we got a big game coming up. For the ones that are here, Ryan Brodo, Greg Milakovic, Frank Vespi, I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, we love you. Can't thank you again. The million comments. I mean, freaking a million comments. And next Wednesday, we'll spin the wheel. Okay? Spin the wheel. Wheel's coming. I told you the wheel was coming. If you're an A2D member on YouTube, here she comes. And next week we're going to keep it simple. And we're going $50 sent right to whatever service you have. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. $50 for the wheel next week. All right. And with that, we're going to start it off before I get my assortment of goods to give away. Money's always great. So you guys go buy you guys something, or you can buy it yourself. Right. And it pays for your membership. But that's the first wheel spin. And then
speaking of members, go check the member page. There's a bunch of people that need to get in touch with me.
Wow.
Or we just might give your stuff away on the wheel on Wednesday nights.
We might give it away. Or, the old people that show up on the post, they might use that money for other things.
A Swingers Cruise.
Yeah. And if you guys don't claim those gifts, there's going to be more weird, old people taking your prizes. So
that's crazy. Shut up, Don. All right, we have one more hour. Knock it off, okay? I mean, someone's got to work tomorrow. We love you. We give you more than enough, Don. And guess what? You're not. Maybe if you were a member. All right.
What are demands for a guy without a little sticker next to his name?
Yeah. I mean, not arguably. I mean, he's the best. He's the best commenter, show watcher. That's in the A2D family. Mm-hmm. And especially a Lions fan. It's amazing. It's amazing how this works. Ted, there's a conversation, and there'll be an event posted tomorrow if all goes as planned, and there will be an HUD event down at the link, but we'll confirm that tomorrow morning. So make sure you're following all our social medias so you can see it in advance. So great show, and yeah, Frank. You got to go.
Go Birds.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It's needed. It's needed. I don't even remember what that show was called.